Hey everyone, and welcome to Comics from the Multiverse, the DC Comics podcast from MailFuzz TV. I am Peter, and joining me as always, I welcome back, thankfully, Matt is here.
This isn't Disneyland.
It feels like Disneyland to me, because now I'm not alone with Connor.
The happiest place on earth, is that what you're saying?
Yes, happiest place on earth is not alone with Connor. Yes, I think that holds true for most people on this earth. But yes, Matt's back. Connor's also here too.
Yeah.
You know, when you do this every week, you get used to the meanness, and then you miss a couple weeks, and you're like, God damn, Pete's mean.
Only Connor.
I know.
And only on like this show.
Like, I mean, I'm not amazing to you in other shows, but yeah, I'm not as mean to you.
Yeah. I think you make it worse, Matt. Just by
sorry.
existing, not intentionally.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I can compare Connor to someone, and that's never favourable for Connor.
No, never.
I can't argue.
Even Connor knows.
Yeah. We talk about DC Comics on this show, and coming up on this week too, to contrast from last week's 4 total books, where me and Connor only read maybe 3 total between us, either of us. I mean, like, I'd only read 3 total, Connor only read 2 total.
Yeah, I think there was only one thing that we both read the same.
Yeah, it was a weird week last week. But this week, we have Batman 68, which should have been last week. Damn it, King. It's probably not King's fault, but I'm blaming him anyway. We have Detective Comics 1001, we have Superman number 10, Wonder Woman issue 68, The Flash 68, Supergirl 29, The Batman Who Laughs number 4, Titans 36, which is the final issue of that. We have Hawkman 11, and we have Wonder Twins 3. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. I think that was a whole shebang. Good.
I think that was all of it.
Sounds about right. Real quick before you started, you want to hear about WonderCon?
Yeah, sure. You get any good scoops?
Of ice cream, yes. You spent a lot of time at the ice cream bar.
Yes. Actually, there was no ice cream bar. By the time I got there, it was gone. Because everything is a line at WonderCon.
WonderCon is a lot more disappointing than I thought it would be.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot, but Williamson did say not to ask him stuff because he forgets what we know and what he knows sometimes because he's working so far ahead. So he kindly asked me,
he's
Tim,
prone to accidentally releasing things he shouldn't then.
Yeah. So nothing scoop wise. Tom King's a total gregarious man that after reading a lot of stuff he writes you would never guess. He's very funny. And I guess him and Williamson have a really good working relationship. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't get to meet Snyder and Capullo because WonderCon, smartly put the signings for Snyder and Capullo at the same time as King, and you had to choose.
That was a dick move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you met them before?
Yes, and funnily enough, me and Mario were trying to get a sense of where these lines start and end and whatnot, and we're kind of standing by Snyder's table, and I don't know if it's just
it's impossible, isn't it?
Well, because they're up against a corner, and it's like, well, where does the King line start, and where does the Snyder-Capullo line start? And at one point they were merging together, like in an unholy union, and it just, but yeah, and I don't know if just Snyder's this way with everybody, but he seemed to recognize me and Mario because we've both met him a couple times, and he looked from the table and asked us how we were doing, and I was like, this is quite surreal, but. But yeah, it was WonderCon's fine. I don't know if it's quite worth the money to wait in as many lines. Yeah. And as me and Tim are about 4 people away from King, some dude, I kid you not, brings a massive stack because he was part of some charity, and it's great that he gave to charity and whatnot. I'm not hating on that.
This got better.
But after we've waited an hour and 15 minutes and we're 4 away, this dude brings a stack of comics for King to sign, and we have to wait another 10 minutes. So all in all, an hour and a half. So, but it was a fun experience. Got to see a lot of fun cosplay, a lot of Captain Marvel cosplay, a lot of Spider-Gwen.
Movies. Yeah.
Less Harley Quinn, which is always refreshing, especially the Hot Topic version.
It'll be back soon.
Well, that said, we did see a Birds of Prey trailer teaser Harley Quinn. So
yeah, you're going to see
good on them for creativity.
That fur coat thing that we've seen so far, Harley, that's going to be everywhere after that movie comes out.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good for the winter cons though. They got something warm.
Yeah. Dustin Nguyen is super cool. We talked to him for a minute. Of course, I didn't have anything for him to sign because I had so much other stuff. I weighed my backpack. My backpack came in at 55 pounds, I think. All said and done.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never worn a full super suit before. I have to imagine they're pretty snug. You get quite warm in those, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Depends what they're made of, I suppose. If they're just sort of thin material, maybe not. But the cosplayers who put the effort in and actually have the latex suits, I have to imagine they get quite sweaty.
I always feel bad for the 501st, the guys in the big stormtrooper outfits.
Well, and it was quite warm in Anaheim that weekend too, so you saw a lot of guys outside with the helmets off, just because. And if you wanted a picture or they were taking pictures,
they always show up to at my store Free Comic Book Day, which is start of May, but sometimes you get a really, relatively speaking, hot start of May, and those guys are there in full outfit, and and obviously all the kids are there, so they don't take the helmets off or anything like that, and you just feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, of course you don't.
Hey, they're doing something nice for the kids.
Wear a stupid costume, you get heat stroke. Deal with it.
I was gonna say something about other cosplay. Oh, so in better cosplay news, I saw a ton of Starfires, but that Piccolo Starfire with the NASA shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that was one girl took the complete initiative and painted herself orange first. So
it should be done.
Yeah. So it wasn't like the half-ass, just throw on the NASA shirt and wear a wig. Like, she went for it. So that was cool. That's like the opposite though of the 501st, because you're painting yourself, but it's nice and breezy.
Casual.
Yeah. So
I bet your wife was a big fan that your new display picture on Facebook was you and the Captain Marvel cosplayer.
Oh no, that was from Disneyland.
Oh, was it?
That's all.
That was a week later.
That wasn't a cosplay.
The two weekends blur together, Matt.
No, it's fine. Yeah, that at Disneyland, I gotta say, I know we're a DC podcast, but they really put an effort to their meet and greets now with the Marvel characters, because they have a what looks like half of a jet that they sawed in half and is coming out of a hangar that is your background when you take a picture with Captain Marvel. So, and she was really good too.
It makes sense to put an effort in the Marvel characters. Marvel.
Well, for the longest time, it was just like characters pop up and you just go take pictures. Like, they didn't put effort into the Black Panther guy that they put in the corner, probably because his suit's, jet black, and it was 82 degrees outside. So he's over in the shade in this non-theme area.
Coolest part of the park.
Yeah, but and I feel like they don't even put in that much effort for like the princesses and stuff. So
I'm surprised there wasn't like a series of arrows directing you around the back of one of the buildings where the freezers are, just so that you could stand next to the freezers and just bask in the coolness.
Yeah. So, but so the 2 weekends do run together. I made the same drive basically 2 weeks in a row.
But no, it makes sense to put a lot of effort in the Marvel characters, because at this point, I think Marvel's making more money for them than Star Wars is now.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah.
At least in the box office. I don't know about merchandise necessarily.
Yeah, part of that is probably the amount of films they're putting out.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, and there's a ton of kids in Marvel costumes. Like, it used to just be little girls in princess costumes. But, I saw a kid dressed as Black Panther, a kid dressed as Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, so it's resonating.
They've got the new Star Wars park opening in a couple of months, right?
Yeah, so that was the other thing, is when you ride one of the roller coasters, you get a nice full view into that section. And, like, I wanted to be this jaded, like, oh, it's not going to be that great. It's going to be crowd to crowd, like, or person to person crowds where you can't move.
It will.
But seeing
let the hate flow through you, Matt.
But seeing how amazing it looks, and they're not even done. Like, there's still a ton of work they have to put into it to make this end of May opening. I'm like, I gotta go, but I'm still gonna miss the first 9 months. There's no way. Like, they're giving out bathroom passes. Like, for the line that's going to be to get into there. So that whole Star Wars section of the park, they are killing it. It's going to be Westworld for Star Wars. Like, you know, Connor's going to have to make the trek.
Sounds like hell.
Yeah, Pete, don't. Just, Pete's going to get in trouble. He's going to kick a Boba Fett. He's going to end up being wanted in Disneyland. That said, I got into trouble for giving Kylo Ren issues. Because, you know, after Last Jedi, he is unredeemable in most people's eyes. And I told him, I think you could use a churro. That might ease your grumpiness. And the dude... You know, the handler was having none of it because I think he thought I was trying to ruin things for the people I was with, where they just know this is just how I am. And on the way out, I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I see myself as like a member of the rebellion / resistance. So I mess with these guys, and he was not having any of that. And I got like a talking down to lecture from this dude. And I had to tell him, like, look, man, I love Star Wars. I know I'm just wearing Indiana Jones hat right now. And nothing Star Wars, but you have to understand, like...
So are you telling us you got a lecture from Kylo Ren?
Not Kylo Ren, the handler.
Yeah, his bodyguard. Okay. Kylo's second in command. This is far too much Star Wars talk. Can we like curb this? This is far too much Star Wars talk. I am sick to hear about Star Wars these past like 24 hours. It is absolutely
so just know
soul destroying.
Getting into trouble at Disneyland, and then when we went to go meet Vader... Same handler's dealing with Vader, and he looks at me like, "Oh, not this guy again." So,
just let people enjoy things, Pete.
I wonder what sugar. I will let people enjoy things, but don't spend 20 minutes on my podcast talking about it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, talking about where I went.
12 minutes in, and like 3 of that has been on Star Wars.
It feels like 20.
Yeah. That said, my wife made Chewie cry because she wore a Han pin. So. Pete should get a kick out of that. Oh, and they have Rey you can meet. She was super nice. Also, Connor probably shouldn't be allowed around her because she looks a lot like Daisy Ridley. Like, they did a good job. Yeah,
restraining order. Yeah.
You know.
There's no need for a restraining order.
They're going to have pictures of Connor's face up around the park when it opens. Do not let this man enter.
But, Connor, that said, if you want to make the trek out to this side of the world, just let me know.
Because you need an excuse. Because you need an excuse to go to Disneyland, Matt.
Hey, I'm meeting Alden in November / December. We're not sure yet for Disney World on that side in Florida. So if Connor wants to come out this way, Pete, you're invited too. I mean, it's probably gonna be a lot of Star Wars. So I don't know if you want to.
God no. Oh God. On a side note, speaking of Florida.
So speaking of Florida, that we do that all the time.
Right. Well, no. Recently on one of my streams, we were basically just going through all those stupid news articles of Florida man does this, Florida man does that, Florida man does this, and then eventually there was like Florida woman, and I went, oh, is that like, you know, eventually we got the female version of Florida man. So this past weekend I saw a headline that said Florida teen, and I went, finally he's got a sidekick, Florida teen.
Nice. I gotta say, the most Florida man headline I've seen, and this came out about a week and a half ago. Florida man strips naked, starts Fight Club in Chick-fil-A. So, yeah, keep being yourself, Florida. Who's Florida man's opposite? Like,
who's the epitome of sensible? I feel like that's whoever that is. It's Florida man's arch nemesis.
Delaware dude. He's just like milquetoast. Shows up. Behaves himself. I don't know.
Or Delaware. I feel like Canada, maybe. Like polite Canada.
Maybe.
That's your opposite of Florida, man.
Yeah.
Canada caddy.
Strips naked, starts Fight Club and Chick-fil-A. That
is so Florida.
There's so much to unpack there. Much like in the solicits for DC that dropped.
Oh yeah, we're about to hit on those.
Segue.
Look at that. Matt hitting a segue better than Pete did.
What do you mean better than that? I wasn't even trying to segue.
Yours was better. Yours was speaking of Florida.
That was a fine segue.
That's like the segue dude that went off the cliff that never happened.
It's like that wasn't supposed to be the segue to the solicits. I wasn't trying to get solicits.
I know it wasn't, but a segue to your story.
I can guarantee that without me, this ran smoother.
Oh, I don't know about that. The first week didn't. Last week was fine. The first week, I had just got home from work. I was extremely tired. I forgot to read like 3 books. Because I got home, realized that the previous month was when I'd missed an episode, because it was when I was away, and I hadn't read all my single monthly shipping books from that week, so I had twice the amount to read, and just it didn't go well. It's a bit of a shambles. Not gonna lie.
Chaos on the show. Yes. All right, let's talk about
solicits.
Yes, DC Comics. Can we talk about DC Comics? None of the Star Wars shit, please. I have no part.
For now.
What do you mean for now? How dare you? Shut your face. What's happening?
It's a threat. It's all right. You have to listen to me yabber on about him on the other show.
I really don't. I'm cancelling all Star Wars news on the other shows. We're not talking about it.
Connor, you do a trailer talk for that trailer that dropped yesterday yet?
No, because I don't want to talk about it with Pete.
Well, maybe after this I can spare some Hellboy time, and we can get into it real quick. Make Pete watch.
Oh, God no. Oh dear. You know, I just like so much Star Wars in the last 24 hours. I can't be having with it.
Yeah, there's only a small gathering called Celebration 2019 going on. How dare they drop a bunch of news?
Exactly. That's my sentiment. Exactly. You say that with the tone as if that's ridiculous.
Would you rather you have this drip fed all year, or would you rather just like, right, here's one weekend, get it all out, people can get excited for 3 or 4 days, and then we'll calm down again?
And someone like Alden's answer is like, yes to both of those.
Yes, Alden, who was like, I'm still shaking after the trailer. Shut up.
Well,
shut up.
He's like my little brother, but stuff like that makes me want to shove him in a locker. So
he knows.
Yeah, I know he knows.
Oh Jesus! All right, the DC solicits.
Yeah, third time's a charm.
So started off Batman: Curse of the White Knight.
Buddy.
These are for July, by the way, just for the.
July 2019.
Yes, 20. Thank you for specifying that, man.
Hey.
We got July's 2020 solicits today, but let's talk about what's happening in the year. So yeah, Curse of the White. This is a Sean Murphy follow-up to his miniseries, which I'm sure you two are excited about. It's 8 issues.
Hell yes.
Issue 1's $5. I don't know if that's going to be the same going forward.
It's 32 pages, so maybe not. But
yeah,
if it's prestige format, then cool. Like, it's 32 pages for $5. Uninterrupted
says
Sean Murphy art.
Yeah, that's the thing. It says 32 pages, but maybe there's less ads.
Yeah.
They've done that before.
Looks like Azrael's part of it. He's on the cover. Looks super cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that character, but in the hands of Murphy and what he did with White Knight, I'm curious to see where this goes.
I'm down for seeing him draw the flaming sword stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it says in this one, Joker recruits Azrael to help him expose a shocking secret from the Wayne family legacy and to run Gotham City into the ground. So, it makes me want to revisit White Knight, which I'll probably do.
Yeah, I'll probably reread it like start July, because this is out. Oh, this end of July. This is out,
in July 24th. So
there's a couple of those Zoom and Ink books, graphic novels. Batman Nightwalker, the graphic novel, based on a novel by Marie Lou, and it's adapted by Stuart Moore with art by Chris Wildgoose. So that's what Wildgoose has been up to. He's been on
so I'll read it just because Wildgoose is great.
Yeah. In other news that Pete doesn't care about, Game of Thrones, I read this as Batman White Walker and was like, what is this? And then I was like, okay, no, it's Nightwalker. So
is this the episode we just told you, Pete, for the whole show?
Uh-huh.
I'm down for that.
So
we're going to start a new section. We're going to start now. This is what's going to happen. Every time a Star Wars or Game of Thrones thing comes up, Joe's going to happen. I'm going to bring up a Buffy thing, and I'm going to talk about the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Fine, you do that anyway.
But you know why you can do that?
Why?
Diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity.
This is what the Joker must have felt like just to watch the world burn. Because I'm going to play both sides now.
Oh dear.
What's the second Zoom and Ink thing? Because this theme's completely different.
The Secret Spiral of Swamp Kids. which is written by Kirk Scroggs with art by also Kirk Scroggs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they just say written art and cover by Kirk Scroggs. They separated it into two sentences.
Just the solicit format, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's got a cool cover actually. It's just like a kid's notebook with drawings on the front.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
How bad you must smell that kids nickname me Swamp Kid.
It's a fair question. We got Batman Last Night on Earth, issue 2. This is Snyder and Capullo's prestige book. So not much to add. I suppose you could say the cover has Scarecrow on it, so he's finally getting to do some Scarecrow stuff, because he's not really done that yet, I don't think.
No, and he goes to the Plains of Solitude to find an unlikely ally, so tells me Superman might be involved.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Do you know what Superman has? Diplomatic immunity.
And here's the exciting things that are coming up right here.
Yeah,
why don't
you go back? You want to finish? You go.
Oh no, they're collecting those Walmart specials into a larger format book. It's 32 pages.
Yeah, so it's a regular single issue. Although notably it's $5. So again, I have to assume there's less ads. I have to assume there's more actual storied content pages.
We have to hope, right? Because
otherwise we're just doing $5 regular books, which is upsetting. But yeah, Batman Universe issue 1, which is the Bendis and Nick Darrington Batman story from those Walmart books, originally from Batman Giant 3 and 4. So I don't know what was in 1 and 2. They're not in this, but
1 and 2 might have just been reprints of stuff.
Yeah.
But 3 and 4, so presumably it's going to be 6 issues. So I imagine there'll be like batches of 2.
Yeah.
I'll just do that simple.
So this is what gets me though, is if you're reading his Young Justice, this apparently is the first appearance of Ginny Hex.
Oh, interesting.
There's a reference. It says, following the theft of a priceless Fabergé egg, the Riddler leads the Dark Knight on a wild hunt after its true owner, Ginny Hex, descendant of Jonah Hex.
Yeah, I'll read this for the show. I'll read this as they're coming out. I'm glad they're doing these as singles. Makes it really easy to cover.
I mean, Bendis and Darrington, that's a hard combination to not have interest in. So... but yeah, I saw the Ginny Hex name and I got very excited.
Yeah, and then to go along with that, we have Superman Up in the Sky issue 1. This is the Tom King with Kubert and Hope. Superman story from the Walmart specials. Again, same thing. Superman Giant 3 and 4, $5, 1 of 6. Same shebang.
Yeah. Despite it's my favorite character, not quite as excited for this story. But I'm still gonna read it.
Is that because you're feeling down in King, or just because the premise is?
The premise. And Kubert's fine, but I don't get as excited, of the art. But it does have Green Lanterns, and I've been missing Green Lantern, since Morrison and Sharp took it over.
Yeah, you've been missing out.
No, that's okay.
Or when we get to the solicit for this month, you're going to be like, damn it.
Maybe.
We'll get there. So next up, what is this mini-series that's starting here? Wonder Woman Come Back to Me.
It's the same, yeah.
It's the Wonder Woman.
Okay. I didn't recognise this one. This is Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti with Chad Hardin on the art. So this is again same thing. It's the Wonder, the Walmart
and of course
specials.
that's the team that did Harley Quinn for quite a long time.
So I have to
also
admit,
Starfire, that me and Connor love.
I will try this. I'm not. I clearly like King and Bendis a lot, so I'm excited for those two. This one I'm a bit more...
This is easily the one of the three I'm most excited for.
Yeah, the premise of this is like, this should be an animated short. You know what I mean? Like, if they could adapt Amanda Connor's style to,
Oh, that'd be great.
To a story. Yeah. But it involves the Bermuda Triangle and Steve Trevor getting lost in a experimental new aircraft, and Diana and Etta having to go find him. Like, yeah. So
I'll try it. I'm not going to rate it off, but like it's definitely one that I'm not as excited about because it's what it is. And Collapser issue 1, I assume this is part of the New Young Animal wave?
Yes, because obviously that was
Mikey Way
story in itself that Young Animal is back.
Yeah, so we've got a whole slate of books here. So we got Collapser issue 1 written by Mikey Way. Can I just say I love how his name is almost Milky Way. Is this a pen
he was
name?
The basis in My Chemical Romance. That's Gerard's younger brother.
Is this a pen name? Did he pick this name? Because Milky Way, come on.
No, that was just always his name, as far as I know from
his parents have a sense of humor. I like it. Milky Way and Sean Simon writing with art by Elias Criazes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what is this? I'm going to read the solicit text for this because I think it's a completely new thing by the sounds of it. There's a voice in the head of Liam James questioning everything he does, from his job at the nursing home to keeping his relationship with his girlfriend afloat. Is that personal and professional lives, Connor? Take a drink. Liam suffers from anxiety, and the only thing that quiets it is the music, which he makes as a weekly DJ gig as his one saving grace. But Liam's life changes forever when he receives a black hole in the mail. Yes, you read that right. I'm glad it specified that, because I was going to question that. One that takes up residence in his chest, grants him insane superpowers, turns him into a celebrity, and draws him into a cosmic conflict beyond his wildest imagination. Where did this black hole come from? Why Liam? Is power the cure? Or will superstardom turn Liam into a black hole himself? Find out in Collapser, a superhero story that could only come from DC's Young Animal. This feels like a spin-off to like Descender and Ascender. Collapser.
Yeah, Collapser.
Yeah.
It's in the middle.
This sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm down for this one.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. It's worth mentioning, actually, there's one here that's not in the solicits. The Green Lantern one's not in these solicits.
There's a couple. I've got the article. I'm going to go through them after the next one.
Okay, sure, yeah. Go after we do this next one, yeah. So obviously we have Doom Patrol coming back. It's called Doom Patrol Weight of the Worlds, issue 1. So this will be... It doesn't say it's like of number of pages, but I'm assuming it's going to be like 12 issues, just because of the nature of this imprint.
Probably, yeah. Whereas the last one did actually say it was 6 issues, didn't it?
Right.
Yes. So Doom Patrol Weight of the Worlds... Gerard Way and Jeremy Lambert writing with James Harvey on the art. What's interesting is I am a much bigger Doom Patrol fan since the last time a Doom Patrol book launched, so I might be more inclined to maybe catch up on the previous book.
yeah. The first issue broke my brain, so no thanks.
Yeah, you watch Doom Patrol, Matt. It's real good.
Every time you tell me, it delays it even longer if I was going to.
No, donkey farts.
It down the field.
Donkey
I'm just going to ice it. Just... Ice it down.
Yeah.
We had Danny the Street on the last episode.
You son of a bitch. You bring up Danny the Street, which is one of the weirdest concepts that I love.
We have Danny the Street. We had karaoke. We had Negative Man doing karaoke. It was great. You want to
get off my lawn.
And Crazy Jane was rom-com Karen. It was fantastic. So, yeah, tell us about the other two that were in the solicits. I assume they're coming in August or whatever.
I think they teased there was going to be a fourth one, but it was only the third one that had the solicit text, which was the Green Lantern one. It's called Far Sector by N.K. Jemisin with art by Jamal Campbell, which I guess Naomi's not coming back immediately, right?
Right.
I assume it's alternating with this then, so it'll take maybe 6 months off and then be back.
Yeah, probably.
And that's cool, because then it feels like an actual season, right? And that's what he's called them.
Yeah. Jemisin, I believe, is a fantasy novelist.
Okay.
So this is a newly chosen Green Lantern. Sojourner Joe Mulline has been protecting the city enduring, a massive metropolis of 20 billion people, for the past 6 months. The city has maintained peace for over 500 years by stripping its citizens of their ability to feel. As a result, violent crime is virtually unheard of and murder is non-existent. But that's all about to change.
But everyone's
so it's a planet that's also a city?
Probably, yeah, by the sound of it.
Do you know what that sounds like?
Sounds like Coruscant, doesn't it?
Sounds like Coruscant. Huh, weird.
That's funny you went to there, because I was thinking what it sounds like. It sounds like the plan that the Alliance had and Firefly worked on this planet. Because it failed in Firefly, of course.
Yeah, but Coruscant came first, so...
I don't know what Coruscant is, so, you know.
Well, see, that's where the Empire set up its base, and where the throne of
was this the one that got destroyed in the first movie? The Death Star?
No, that's Alderaan.
That's Alderaan?
That's Alderaan.
Okay.
That's the rebellion.
Coruscant is the one from the prequels where all the shit happens with the Senate and that.
Oh, it's the Boran planet. Okay, right.
This is where the fun begins.
Senate! Palpatine's behind it all. Screw Palpatine. But, the worst
that Green Lantern book, it just says it's coming 2019. It's obviously not July, but...
right. Maybe that's why it's not in the solicits.
The only character worse than Palpatine's Boba Fett. Anyway.
You know, it's a taste thing, but you're wrong. Boba Fett's cool as shit. Don't ask me why. I can't defend it, but he's cool as shit.
I'm into a Green Lantern book of some sort. I'm happy this exists. Well, I like it. Who knows? But I'll try it and find out.
Can we get to
I'm
the next
hopeful,
book?
and I think we all like Campbell a lot. So
yeah, well, Campbell's great. Yeah. Yes, Matt's itching for the next two because
yes, I am.
He's excited. So this is us finally getting the Jimmy Olsen issue 1, written by Matt Fraction, art by Steve Lieber. I suppose I'll read the description actually, since it's actually it's interesting because obviously we knew this book was coming, but let's read it. Wait, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Jimmy Olsen lives, Superman's best friend and Daily Planet photographer. Oh, it says Jimmy Olsen must die first. That's why.
Yeah, you skipped the first slide.
I wasn't sure what it meant there. I was like, what do you mean we're getting ahead of ourselves? What are you talking about? Anyway, yes. Jimmy Olsen tours the bizarre underbelly of the DC universe in this new miniseries featuring death, destruction, giant turtles, and more. It's centuries-spanning whirlwind of weird that starts in Metropolis and ends in Gotham City. And then we kill Jimmy.
No, I'm so into this.
This is more of a lead up to his death than Zack Snyder gave him, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, this tells you his name first, so.
Yeah. Sounds like we're getting Giant Turtle Boy, which my favorite Jimmy Olsen.
It said his name like 5 times as well. I mean, that's 5 times more than Batman v Superman said his name.
Dude, this sounds like our friend James maybe had a hand in it. This sounds like something he would do.
It does,
right? Yeah. Like, there's like significantly less neon if James, or there'd be more neon if James did it.
And given that you already compared this at WonderCon to Fraction's Hawkeye in terms of tone, right? I'm on board. I am super excited about this.
Which
somehow
I've never read, but I'm planning on reading it before this comes out.
Sure.
So,
but somehow, despite all that, this is the weaker of the two in terms of my excitement.
Yeah.
Because next up,
worth noting though, only 12 issues, both of these.
But yeah, both are 12 issues, which is fine. If they're just going to admit that now and have an ending planned, then great.
Oh yeah. I wasn't saying that as a bad thing. I'm just we should mention
this will make for 2 nice deluxe hardcovers, in just over a year's time.
Right, right on that back shelf, right there.
Yeah. Lois Lane issue 1, Greg Rucka writing with Mike Perkins on the art, and can I just say both of these covers for this are
that Jenny Prism variant is phenomenal.
That almost became my background.
It may or may not be mine in the next 10 minutes.
I love both. Like I think that other one when she's holding the newspaper up and it's got the S burned into it, like because it's so noir. I love how noir it looks.
Exactly. That feels like a Rucka book.
Yeah,
just by the look of it.
There's a couple of pages without art. Well, not without art, without just a line work.
Captions.
From Lois Lane going about, and it looks like a newspaper thriller. That's what it looks like. So Lois Lane issue 1, on the road and out of Metropolis and carrying a secret that could disrupt Superman's life. Lois Lane embarks on a harrowing journey to uncover the threat to her husband and a plot that reaches to the highest levels of international power brokers and world leaders. Critically acclaimed, the best-selling. I don't really the rest of it. The rest of it's just fluff.
Yeah, just tale of conspiracy, intrigue, and murder that pushes even Lois to her limits.
Yes. Give me this now.
Someone hold Matt down.
Matt's got a boner right now. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
he does.
Let's be honest. His desk is just tipped a little bit back the way.
Between these two books, like, I know I said I was meaning to read less, but this is why I have to read less.
Do you know what possibly the best news of this is Lois is on week 1 and Jimmy's on week 3, the 2 quiet weeks.
Yep.
Praise DC.
Yes.
And then we have Action and Superman in between. So, right?
Well, obviously, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Those are 2 and 4, right?
Yeah, true. So you get a dose of Superman kind of every week, yeah.
Boom, every week. 4 Superman books, finally. I mean, it might just be for a year, but I don't care.
Well, 5 weeks doing Supergirl.
Yeah, well, I'm talking like that's still outside a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you mean more Metropolis.
Yeah, let's say Metropolis, not so much Superman.
Okay. So we're super excited for those. That is great news. Although Carl's not allowed to read these though, because they're going to be related to Bendis' books, so he's not allowed. Lois
might be potentially. Jimmy's definitely isn't.
All right. So actually, I was 1013. We won't go into too much detail about the books from here on out. Just looking for interesting notes to point out. Aquaman 50. This getting a big anniversary issue, big $5 48-page book.
Yeah. Final issue of Adventure of the Super Sons. Because I think we always knew it was 12 issues, but
yeah, it was always 12. Yeah.
Yeah, that book. I know I haven't been here to review it this last time. I'm falling out of love with it.
Really?
Like, Yeah, like it was fine, but it feels, I don't know, maybe because it's winding down. You know what I mean? Like it just.
I think I think what I said the last couple of issues is that it's a fine, enjoyable read. It doesn't feel super consequential though. It's the sort of thing where
and that might be what it is.
If it was out in a busy week, it would probably get dropped. But because it's out in a week where there's like 3 other books, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll keep reading it.
Expect I will pick up the deluxe hardcover and the omnibus that they did already at some point and just read through the whole series in about 3 days and very much enjoy it.
That was the thing I heard from Tomasi too, is that he had a lot more planned for John and
then Bendis took him away.
And then Bendis came in, so
Kelly Sue is doing Black Manta starting issue 50.
Yeah.
It's the start of a new arc, so this is pretty cool.
Bit of a spoiler for what's going on in Aquaman right now in that solicit. So I like what's there though. Yeah, don't read it.
I'm not going to read it. Yeah,
don't read it. But yeah, she's dealing with Black Manta. Batgirl looks like has a new writer.
And I saw this on Twitter. Cecile actually said she's now taking over the book. So starting with issue 37, Cecile Castellucci will be the new writer on Batgirl. Which, you know, I've been liking Rick Red Scott stuff, so it's a shame to see her go.
Yeah, but I like Cecil stuff.
Yeah, like I like that Female Furies issue 1, even though it went a bit too far with some things. So I'm open to this.
I expect because the only things I've read from her are that and Shade, the Changing Girl.
Yeah.
I would expect the Batgirl to be a little bit more reined in because it's actually in continuity.
Yeah.
Worth
so
mentioning.
I read the last issue of Female Furies and it was rough, but in that way that it's meant to be rough, where it made me feel icky.
Okay.
Because of the events that happened in it, and I was like,
so the subject matter's rough. It's not so the writing that's rough.
Yeah, no, the writing's fine. Like it, but bad things happen to Arlie and the Female Furies to wear vengeance, and that's where it looks like it's going. I might just finish it off because it's only the 6 issues, right?
Yeah.
So.
That's
but
good.
It really hit, and it wasn't so much of that sledgehammer that it had been. Like this, there was a little bit more finesse to it. So I'm curious her take on Babs.
Yeah. Also,
after that,
so it's worth mentioning Carmine Diadomenico is the artist on this, which is cool. We like him. We'll see how he translates to a Bat character, but I've enjoyed his stuff so far. Also,
did he do some Batman issues with the crossover? At one point.
I don't remember.
With Flash?
No,
I don't think so.
No, I don't think that was him. That was Sandoval, and then the other one was.
Okay.
That one we hate.
Well, that was all. Yeah, we don't want it to be that name. Also, in a lot of these, there's this undercurrent of Lex Luthor doing stuff in the background, which I'm sure ties into.
Yeah, we got some Year of the Villain news, didn't we? I think I don't know if those are later on in the solicits or if they were just a separate thing.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning as well. I'm seeing a lot of the books in July. I've got this thing where the variants get cardstock and is $1 more expensive.
Yeah,
they're the Year of the Villain things, I think, mostly.
Yeah, and the Batgirl cover is Oracle because this new arc's going to involve Oracle. So I'm wondering if Oracle comes back as something of ill intent.
Yeah.
And that's what Babs is fighting against.
So, that's cool. Got your Batman Beyond, got your Batman 74 and 75. 75 is a big one, of course, because it's the start of the City of Bane. So
and it's a milestone issue.
Yeah, it's issue 75, so they're doing the $5 for 8 pages.
It does have a phenomenal Delotto.
Yeah, the variant. Yeah. The Bane variant is really nice. So, I mean, they've been doing this, issue 25, issue 50. I guess issue 75 is no different. We'll do the big milestone.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah.
And a week before that is Batman Secret Files 2, which looks like is one of those where they just throw all these stories together for City of Bane. So
yeah.
I'm not so excited about that, but we'll see.
Well, that's a very different art germ variant for Catwoman. Doesn't look as normal.
It is, isn't it? He was trying something different with the like a faux watercolor style thing, but still digital.
Yeah, it looks good.
Does.
I can't fault it. Yeah. DC's issue 3, of course, is on there. It's hard to talk about that yet because the first issue's not out, but it's coming. It's coming next month.
Yeah.
Got a couple of tech issues, of course. Just Event Leviathan issue 2 is there. I don't really want to read the solicit because I don't want to spoil anything.
I would say on Detective, so 1007's the end of the arc, and then 8 is a new stuff, and it's dealing with Joker.
Okay. Okay.
So.
Real quick, what do you guys think of Dial H for Hero?
Oh, I liked it quite a bit.
Okay.
Have you read it yet?
Have you read it yet?
Oh, yeah. I read it. Wasn't a fan.
No, I don't like it.
So, no. I'm going to hang on to see what the next issue is, but it was... Yeah, so far my least favorite of the Wonder Comics stuff.
The Event Leviathan issue 2 cover is quite interesting, though.
As it is.
Got a lot of detectives there.
And who's there in the front?
That would look like Lois Lane. Front and center.
Oh, man. And you got Plastic Man in his Terrifics uniform, which caused Doc Shaner to...
He was freaking out a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, to tweet out words of joy.
I think he said every time he sees it, it adds a year back onto his life.
Yep. And then he's also like, anyone else, like, if you want to add Linya to any of your stories, then that just makes me, what did he say?
I think that one adds 5 years onto his life and grows back
hair.
Yeah.
And he goes back here. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So this cover is fantastic. Like, oh, man, I'm so excited for Event Leviathan.
I want to see Lois working with Batman, drawn by Malieve. Yeah. There's a lot of good things going on here. So Female Furies is ending in July. That's when issue 6 comes out. Flash is into the year 1 event, of course. That started the previous month, so that's going.
It's ending. 75 is the last issue of it.
75, and it's it's another milestone issue. 75, getting the bigger book
with a fantastic Maniple variant.
Oh, the Captain Cold one.
Yeah.
Yep. I love the negative space of his like parka with the white and that goes around his face.
Gilliam March, that was the artist who was horrible in Flash. That was right in the middle of
We don't.
Because he's doing a cover for Green Lantern Annual, which is an annual, by the way.
It is. But please read the solicit for issue 9, just because I feel like Matt will be like, damn it.
No, I know, I saw it, and I don't.
On the medieval fantasy planet of Athamura, Sir Hal of the Lantern, aka Hal Jordan, must do battle with the evil wizard Abba Nazur, Scourge of the Four Kingdoms. What is Abba Nazur's secret, and what does he have to do with the looming extinction level multiversal threat that leaves countless dead super beings in its wake?
I've been like really digging this book, and my excitement just went up.
Yeah, I can't believe they got Morrison to do an annual.
But it's Hal in the multiverse now.
Because it's not like it's Sharp in the annual. You've got Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Yeah, but the annual's a little bit different. This was issue 9, so.
And issue 9 had a fantastic cover as well from Sharp. Yes. Completely different style to usual, but incredible. And a variant cover by Fraser Irving, which dealing with magic and whatnot. Yeah, I don't think we've seen that cover yet, but it'll probably be great.
Yeah. I do like Fraser Irving. Freedom Fighters issue 7's out, which I'm only pointing out because I didn't read the last issue because of time, but I am going to catch up for the next one because
fantastic.
I've been liking that book. So
you want a spoiler?
Okay, sure.
They blow up Mount Rushmore, the Freedom Fighters, and really piss off the Nazis because the Nazis recarved.
Who's on their Mount Rushmore? Is it just Hitler 4 times?
Well, it's Hitler and his inner cabinet.
Okay.
So I'm sure like Goering and all those guys were there, and they've the human bomb has been like cleaving off chunks of his dead skin cells, but they're still active, and he's been creating bombs out of them. So he sends Doll Woman in there, and she just blows it to hell. And they start teasing like, well, we're gonna have to get Overman involved. So.
Okay, I need to catch up. Sounds good.
Yeah, catch up. Venditti between Hawkman and Freedom Fighters has become one of my favorite like action adventure writers. I think, I'm almost forgiving him for his run on Flash. I said almost.
Speaking of annuals, there's a Justice League Dark annual as well, so that's your second annual for that 5th week in May.
I just wanted to mention I'm just drawing
art by
here.
Gilliam March.
Don't tell me that. You're making that up, right?
No, it's there. Art by Gilliam March.
God damn it.
Covered by Riley Rosmo, though.
I'll just buy the cover and just do nothing else. Because, I really like the Harley Quinn variant by Frank Cho. It doesn't look like his usual style. I quite like it. But Hawkman 14 has a different artist again. I know. I think I mentioned it sometime in the last episode. But for anyone who didn't happen to listen to whatever book we were talking about at that time, Hitch is off the book after 12. It's not just filling artists; we're just changing for now. But it's fine. Hopefully, we'll get some good artists.
The third annual of the month, which Connor will be reading, is Red Hood Outlaw Annual number 3.
I will not be reading that anytime soon. Thank you very much.
Soon enough. Shazam issue 8 was solicited. Obviously, things get pushed back a little bit, but it does seem to be coming.
But the annual has Artemis and Bizarro on it, so isn't that when you like them?
No,
or is it when you hate them?
I like Bizarro. I hate Artemis.
Okay, there you go. Well,
Supergirl's got a fantastic Brainiac variant cover.
Yes.
Speaking of variant covers, Lois is getting a lot of attention in July because the Superman variant is a Lois, Adam Hughes.
And I will have to shell out the extra money for that because I don't like though that they seem to be all villains and she's on there. You know what I mean? I don't like that.
Lois is making a heel turn.
No, I mean to be fair, Shazam's got a fantastic Michael Cho variant, which is
but that's not one of those cardstock ones. You know, all the cardstock ones seem to be.
Okay, the lowest ones too. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna shell out the extra money for that because I will eventually get that framed.
Final issue of Wonder Twins is out in July, and then I think more importantly, we have a confirmation that G. Willow Wilson's back on Wonder Woman after one issue off. It was literally just a guest issue for Orlando.
And man, this arc seems a lot of fun.
I'm seeing a Cheetah variant.
Yeah,
that looks great as well.
By Frisian.
God damn it! It's going to be tough picking covers that month, isn't it?
Frisian and the Dotsons.
Yeah.
Art by Zermanico. So.
That's the thing. Oh, Matt, I'm just looking at Young Justice here. Did you like Young Justice last week?
I did.
Yeah.
The whole realm of Gem World, I need to know more about, just because it scratches that Game of Thrones itch. Which I don't understand how. Yeah. Which, if you're enjoying it, I don't know how you because I know how you are with sword and sorcery stuff. So
I'm enjoying it for all the characters I know. Like the actual Gem World stuff, just kind of that's fine. Like I'm not.
My continuity sense was going off. Like I need to know what's going on with Turquoise and Topaz and why there's these dynamics there.
Did you read the new 52 book?
No. Should I?
Yeah, well, it was real good.
Okay, maybe I'll go back once I read Hawkeye. Maybe that'll be the go-to.
All right. Well, that's basically obviously the collections and whatnot, but
I don't think there was anything incredibly surprising in the collections.
Yeah, I think our week 5 that month is going to be really, really quiet currently. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Doomsday Clock 11 ends up on that week or something.
Yes, because that did get delayed again, didn't it?
Well, there should technically be a Doomsday Clock on these solicits, but I think they actually realised it'd be silly to schedule Doomsday Clock 12 when 11 is clearly not making out in May, given that 10's been delayed till like middle of May. So
that would be a bit stupid, wouldn't it?
So 11 will probably come out in July, probably.
One of the collections I do want to point out is the Wonder Woman by Rucka 3, because the first 2 have been out, but that comes out in August. So I don't know why that's listed in the.
They always do trades listed.
They always do that.
The trades are always further ahead, than the single issues.
So and also the Wonder Woman Year 1 Deluxe Edition is out, also by Rucka, which collects. It's doing them in the even numbers, right? And so you know what issue's in there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, issue 8.
Of course, yes, issue 8. Yes, we know issue 8 is one of the even numbers. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, that Mary Shazam statue.
Yeah, nice. I really like the is it Death the statue that's in there this time.
Yeah, Bombshells. Oh wow.
Yeah, that's good.
God, I love the look of those.
All right, I think that's solicits talk. Was there any other bits of news anyone wanted to bring up?
I'm just seeing Batman Damned got delayed by a month again.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah, so that's coming out, allegedly coming out June 19th.
Let's just say it had to be edited for art because Batman tried to start a naked fight club in a Chick-fil-A.
This was originally supposed to come out March 27th. Then that got cancelled and resolicited for May 22nd. now it's coming out June.
If I do read this, I'm going to struggle to remember what the hell happened in the first two.
Yeah, I'll let you off on this one.
All right, that's go. That's solicits and news. What an epic journey it's been. Oh god.
Oh, just one more thing. It was this Year of the Villain article. It's talking about what's going on in the months. So July is Year of the Villain, The Offer. August is Year of the Villain, Dark Gifts. September is Year of the Villain, Evil Unleashed. And October, Year of the Villain, Doom Rising.
What does that mean though? What will we get in July? All those variant covers.
I'm just looking. I'm reading the article now. So this is because obviously the first issue is coming out just before Free Comic Book Day. So in a couple of weeks' time, I think. And they're talking about how there will be June's issue 25 of I assume Justice League here is a prelude into it in July. So these are things going on in the books as well, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, in July, I think they're talking about Lex. From what I can gather, he makes the offer to some of the DC Universe's most noteworthy characters.
This is such a weird thing. It's almost they're trying to like build like a marketing brand out of something that's just some plots in the books, as opposed to it actually being a thing.
Yeah, it'll be a Year of the Villain banner, featuring an image of Lex. More he's used so
seems like he's going around trying to create his Doom Army, and this is what we're gonna get.
Yeah, because they're talking about how Event Leviathan and Action Comics are going to be part of it. The Batman City of Bane is going to be part of this banner.
It's basically meaningless then, is what you're telling me. Okay.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad we established that. Okay.
Hey, there was a news article. I thought, what's this?
I'll wrap up news and solicits. We'll move on to books then. First up, we have a book that was supposed to be out last week, which would have been nice last week, given how few we had. But alas, we have Batman issue 68 with Tom King writing with Amanda Connor on the art. And this is, again, part of the Nightmares story. This issue is very different from the other ones, though. And then it's kind of like a spin where it's like, this actually feels like a really positive issue. Most of these things seem quite happy. But the idea is that deep down Bruce might actually be terrified of having a normal, happy life and won't know what to do with himself. So,
or it's this is what could have been,
kind of, yeah.
And now he's missing out on it because of the machinations of Bane. I don't want to say it was a bad issue, right? But I felt the tone just has not matched any of the other things, and I get they're all one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
But this, compared to the last one, it's like, holy crap.
I think I might have enjoyed this more than a lot of them out of these Nightmare issues, just because there's at least elements of this that are just fun on their own. It doesn't matter that what it's tying to or whatever. It's just Lois and Selena just going around the fortress doing stupid shit while drunk is actually kind of amusing, just on its own.
They had me until
the stripper.
Yeah, with the Superman robots. Like,
this is the point where I have to confess I didn't read it.
Oh, here we go.
We were running a bit late. I got in from work late and I was reading my books, and I got to a point where, okay, we're really pushing this. So I can get one more in, and I had to choose between this and something else. And I chose the other thing because I was like, you know what? I don't care about Nightmares. I'll come back when it's done.
You have it. I read it. It's not. Again, I don't want to say it's bad because it's not. There are tone things that are off. The art's great. It's Amanda Connor.
Yeah, I know. The only reason this issue exists, so there's, on Twitter they were talking about it, is Amanda Connor was like, "Hey, I'd have loved to join the Bachelorette party," and King was like, "Right, I'll sort it out."
Yeah,
that's it.
And I think I actually would have preferred this then than now, but I get how it's a Nightmare. I like how King pulls that off to where it's this, in Bruce being terrified of happiness type idea.
I like the idea of Supergirl letting them out of the fortress and them getting up to mischief. Every time it cuts back to Clark and Bruce, they're just having this really boring night.
And it seems so awkward, which I love. I love that you can feel the awkwardness between them. Like, they're much better friends in costume than out of costume. Like Superman and Batman are friends, but Clark and Bruce don't really know how to relate to each other here.
See, I actually kind of disagree. I think the reason why this works in this issue is because it's kind of just what Bruce thinks it would be like. So it's like the nightmare version. I actually think Clark and Bruce would actually be a lot more comfortable with each other than this issue lets on.
Yeah, maybe. I like how it's played for laughs, though.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's totally just about cutting from the girls having ridiculous fun, and then to them just sitting there in their tweed jackets.
But I like it. It's like two people that are friends from work, and then when they're not at work, they don't know how to relate to each other. So they're just like, yeah. So did you see that thing on TV? Nope. Okay. And it had that flow to it, and yeah, all the different wines I thought was hilarious in the fortress, because Superman doesn't drink, but he gets these bottles of alcohol sent to him as thank you from all across the galaxy. So reading all the different kinds and where they were from.
Yeah, they were just silly ideas.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, they were pretty funny. They also get Lois and Selena in super outfits at one point. They're raiding the fortress closet and putting on weird things.
Here's another thing, and I get it's a nightmare, and so we're gonna apply dream logic, right? But if Brainiac had created this paradise pool, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
As a trap, why would Superman just keep it in the fortress as is?
In case Lois wants to skinny dip, obviously.
Yeah, but the whole point of it is it's that where you never come out. It's almost Black Mercy. Right?
I wonder if it's designed for him though, so humans can go in and manipulate it.
Sure, because they seem to not have any issue.
Yeah, they didn't really
coming out. So Connor, what this thing is, it's this pool filled with this type of liquid that makes you it puts you in this sense of ease, fully.
Oh, is that what this is? I was skimming the issue now, and their clothes seem to just vanish.
Yeah. Because they jump in.
They're clothed.
Yeah.
And then the next panel, they're not.
Time passed. Easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
they want to. You've ever swam in clothes, like you've fallen into a pool? Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, so you take them off. Easy. The idea that Lois is okay with basically LMDs of her husband being naked and massaging Selena is really funny to me.
That's weird to me. That was just
again dream logic. I guess the idea
weird pull for Lois.
If you go for the nightmare perspective, the idea here is that Bruce is imagining that a naked Clark is massaging his wife. That's basically what's happening.
Not just one, too. There's three of them.
Yes.
They're outnumbered.
Yes. Yes, so those duplicates of Clark gangbanging his wife essentially in his nightmare. That's essentially what he's fearing.
Yeah.
And that's basically this issue. It ends with them, they meet up and I love you, Bat, I love you, Cat, and then the final page is him in the machine screaming.
Which was very, very Batman RAP-esque.
Mm-hmm.
It's
very cyberpunk. Just all the cables and pipes and wires, and the coloring is completely different.
Man, there's a lot of people listed on the artist, isn't there, on the credits page?
Mm.
But those were all variants, but I only saw the one variant. Right? Because it's all Amanda Connor art. It's not.
No, because the others are Martina is listed as a variant cover. This is Amanda Connor, Dan Panosian, John Timms, and Mikhail Janin as artists, which implies they've got work in the.
Well, the final page is different. I assume final page is. I don't know. If
I guess I'm gonna say Amanda Connor does all the Lois and Selena stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the Bruce and Clark stuff is one of the others, and then the final page is the third pair.
Probably. But hey, that was Batman. That was kind of fun on its own. I don't know. This was less frustrating to me than some of the others. That Constantine one, 2 or 3 issues ago.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Again, it's not bad. It's just the tone's a little bit weird. There's things in here that, you have to apply dream logic to. It's perfectly fine compared to some of the other ones that we've gotten. Yeah. So I'll be happy when this is over. Give me the City of Bane.
This was part 6. I think we've got one left, and then
one left, which I may or may not read. We'll see.
We'll see.
I feel like I'm not missing anything by skipping these Nightmares issues.
But here, I'm gonna change your mind because you know who the last artist is.
Go on.
It's Yannick Paquette.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Didn't like Paquette. Oh. Paquette does some great layout work.
Yes.
You will succumb.
What is he working on? I think he's working on with Bendis on something that Bendis has been tweeting out the pages?
Last I heard, I assumed he was still working on the Earth One thing with Morrison. Next one of those.
Yeah, but there was another because it had a bunch of different heroes on it, and it looked fantastic. And just the layouts, the way that they go, and they meld into each other. Like,
fair enough.
But anyways,
yeah, what are you giving Batman 68, Matt?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because again, there's actually nothing wrong with it. I think it comes down to taste. The Manacon art's pretty good.
Yeah,
but...
I'm going to give it a straight 7. I think it's a good issue. That is just kind of fun on its own, and things don't necessarily always add up logically, but that's okay because we know it's a dream.
Yeah.
We know it's like coming from his subconscious, so it's his nightmares.
Yeah. I just overall like I chuckled a couple times, but I was just kind of not annoyed. That's not the right word, but I was just reading it and I was like, okay, I was just reading it to get through it, you know. So
and yet you give it a 7.5. Somehow I sounded more positive than you.
Yeah, we all know that my grading is all weird compared to your guys's.
Yes.
So I gotta keep that alive.
I actually look forward to a day where Matt actually reads something that he gives a 1 just to see how bad it actually is.
It'll be something that's not even that bad. It just made him angry.
Yeah. What's this? Superman needed Batman to come and save him? Nah, 1 out of 10. I can't get behind this.
That's a 2 out of 10 because it depends on whose art.
March is on art.
Oh yeah, okay. Is it possible to give it negative?
I want to do that. You know the aliens guy? You know the aliens, from the History Channel with the hair.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He's got a gift that I really like. It's like a follow-up to that from the same show, I assume, at some point, where he goes, "Is such a thing even possible?" Yes, it is. He just does this pause and then says, "Yes, it is." I love it.
God, what's his name? It's George Suka something.
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't think I've ever known his name.
No, he's just the aliens.
Only because I was flipping through and it was on one time and they were talking about the Norse gods. So stupid me.
Stayed and watched. Of course you did.
And I got so angry.
All right, that'll take us on to the other Bat book. A lot of Bat books this week. This is what happens when Batman gets pushed a week. We get Detective Comics 1001, Peter J. Tomasi writing with Brad Walker on the art. Now I know Matt didn't read this. Car, did you read this? Did you try it?
I did. This was the choice I had between this and Batman 68.
I'm glad actually, because given the choice, I'd rather 2 of us talk about each book rather than 3 of us talk about one and only me talk about the other one. So
it wasn't because of that. It was simply, which one would I rather read time-wise? I thought I can read one.
Yeah.
And Batman, I was like, right, it's nightmares. I know I don't really care. Whereas this, I wasn't exactly hopeful going into it, but I thought I can at least give it a shot, and it might surprise me.
Yeah, well, this is the weird thing, is Tomasi can pull out good issues. It's just that his story in 1000 really, was a whimper for us.
It turned me off.
The story before that started off with a couple of strong issues and then just dwindled. And so I'm going to be really cautious here and say that I actually quite like this issue.
This is the best issue that's run so far, comfortably.
But I'm worried because I'm worried that there's going to be 2 or 3 good issues and then it's going to dwindle into nothingness.
Yeah, that's my fear as well.
Can I make a bet of who Arkham Knight is?
Sure.
I think it's Anarchy.
Okay. It's a fair guess.
But okay.
You'll have to let me know.
So the plot of this is that all the bats in Gotham drop dead. Right? We open Gordon's...
Not the bat family, actual bats.
Actual bats, yes. Gordon's in like a playground in the park and there's just dead bats everywhere. We go to the Batcave and Batman's got the same problem. So he experiments on them. He's trying to figure it out. And then eventually he goes to Langstrom's wife because it mentions Kirk Swath with the Justice League Dark. So, Francine, thank you. Look at you remembering her first name.
I know DC canon. Like, that is my thing.
This is a Bat character though, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with the Bat family. Thank you. That's because Bruce drives me nuts. Like, he's my stepdad that I constantly remind, you're not my dad. That's my relationship with Bruce Wayne. You know?
So Francine basically feels pain because whatever's hurt the bats is actually hurting her, even though she's because she took the serum once, she became a woman bat once. Is that the term? Right. Is that what we call her when she's
woman bat? Yeah,
woman bat. But she's like desperate to take the serum to figure out what's wrong, and Batman tries to stop her, but she takes it and. Basically, he rides her back and
it's a great sequence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an action sequence. It's fun, full of energy.
That might be up there with the Venom Dragon that I was like, that sounds stupid. But then when you look at it, you're like, nah, that's pretty metal.
They basically land in like the park.
It's in the zoo.
Oh, it's in the zoo. Sorry, you're right. It's in the zoo. They land in the zoo, and it's right at this point where the villain, because there's been a couple of interludes where we've cut to like Arkham Knight talking to his followers. He's got a
bit of a cult. They're actual like knights that they're swearing to be. They've got an organization name, something to do with the sun.
Knights of the Sun. No, Children.
They're
of the
just
Sun.
Knights of the Sun.
I don't know. I can't remember. But what they do is it's basically like the sort of scene where like you see a nuclear bomb go off, but it's not a nuclear bomb. It's actually they've launched like a sun, like basically an artificial sun into the sky. But it's
a miniature sun.
Yeah. But when it first goes up, it looks kind of like it's not a mushroom cloud. It's more of a flat explosion, but it looks kind of dangerous. So at first, Batman's like, shit. Alfred, get the the radiation folk, get a radius set up, and it's like, no, it's just light.
It's just light. Yeah.
There's nothing dangerous, but
I checked. It was Knights of the Sun.
Yes.
It's a very unimaginative name, but okay.
Well, what I like about this is that it's just putting Batman like out of his element because now it's daylight all the time.
Yeah.
And the stuff with I like the mystery of the bats, the actual mystery of what's happening to them is pretty cool. The idea that it immediately took him to a Langstrom, the idea that we're really going down that avenue right away, that was a fun action scene. And then them attacking, they're well trained, they're all ambushing Batman.
Batman goes to swing towards the sun and see what's going on, and his line gets cut, and he's like, "What the hell's happening?" Most people can't do that.
Yeah.
And then all these actual, knights show up. They've got swords but shooting arrows, and they've got but the arrows are piercing his armor, and their armor is just deflecting all of his like batarangs and stuff.
Yeah, and they beat him down a bit with a lot of arrows and shit, and then the final page is Arkham Knight with his foot in his head, and it's like next time Arkham Knight standoff, and I'm like, I actually quite like this issue, and I'm almost a little bit annoyed because I actually came into this thinking if I hate this issue, I'm probably going to drop it, but I like this issue quite a bit, so I'm like, shit.
I did. This would have been a much better introduction to Arkham Knight.
It would have been, yeah, it was so much better.
So what was Arkham Knight's story from the game?
Oh, it's completely different. So spoilers for Arkham Knight the video game. I need to spoil it to talk about this, so you've been warned. So Arkham Knight the game, he's basically, people were sort of saying he's basically like a new version of Red Hood, and then the sort of like the fun little twist to give, which I actually quite liked, is that it did turn out to be Jason Todd, and the Arkham, the actual the cool part of his helmet came off, and it just left the red dome, so it became like the Red Hood outfit. 2/3 out of the game. It was a nice little thing.
So then he's just running around like Red Hood did under the hood.
It's under the hood with a twist on it, basically.
Gotcha.
Whereas it was real good in that game.
Yeah. Whereas this seems to be completely different. This is
kind of a little bit Azrael feeling with the Order and the Knights.
So let me just tell you. So as I said, Knights of the Sun, kind of like you could have come up with an imaginative name. In Latin, it's Equitum Solis.
So that sounds way cooler, doesn't it?
Right? Yeah, come on, Tomasi.
Knights of the Sun, that sounds like a dayman who's a fighter of the night man. Champion of the sun. Master of karate and fun for everyone.
I need to watch that show at some point. I've only seen like 2 episodes.
Oh, you're missing out. It's fantastic.
Dayman. I can't do it. Let's move on swiftly. Art was pretty good.
Art was fantastic. I think for me it's the best the art's been since Tomasi took over.
And it's Monkey?
No, I like Monkey, but this was Brad Walker.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot cleaner, but I think it suits the book a bit better, to be honest.
Well, if you're throwing Batman in the sun, then you kind of don't want Monkey, who relishes in shadow work, you know?
So, yeah, I guess we're being positive on Detective, and I'm cautiously looking forward to 1000.
I'm a little bit annoyed that I am.
Yeah?
Yeah, because this was pretty good.
It was. So we'll see if he can stick the landing. That is the big test for Tomasi here, is can he stick this?
Right.
I'll be honest, I'm concerned about the Arkham Knight, given the dialogue in that 1000 story was terrible, frankly. I've got nothing else to describe it.
It was terrible, but I think the problem there might just be that it relied on him talking over like 10 pages with nothing but him narrating.
It might. My problem is, okay, once we get into him actually having a conversation with Batman, right? When we get down to that stuff, does he annoy me? Because so far, he's kind of just talking in platitudes. It's like, oh yeah, a new day dawns in Gotham.
Yeah, he's being generic enough right now that it's not a big deal. But everything else I really liked about this issue. So we'll see how it goes. What are you giving it, Connor?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 8 as well. Solid 8. So that will take us on then to Superman issue 10. Bryan Michael Bendis writing with Ivan Reis and Brandon Peterson on the art, as it's been for most of this arc. And this wraps up John telling the story to his parents of what happened to him. We ended last issue with Superwoman. Yes, I was just making sure I had the right name there, because it's confusing because it's all flipped. But yeah, Superwoman, Lois from Earth 3, try to kill him. And this issue, we find out that eventually Jor-El did show up. He found him. And it seems like he'd been missing for years from Jor-El's perspective, because Jor-El had been, doing complicated, like, astrophysics maths to figure out where he was.
Because since John was lost in the multiverse through that wormhole, he couldn't just look through space. He had to look through space and time, which adds this other variable. And so to Jor-El, 22 years have passed.
Yeah. But only 22 days have passed on Earth, which is, explains why he's, it's been a few weeks and he's grown up so much. But Jor-El's got a goatee, he's much older. And it's basically just this thing. But basically we find out that, John gets shot back to Earth while armies were attacking Jor-El. Like there's was Thanagar in there?
Yeah, you got Thanagarians, it looks like Green Lanterns, it looks like you have these like other ships rolling around in there, like and Rogol Zar's there. That's the big thing. Rogol Zar's so Rogol Zar is the reason why he ends up back at home.
Yeah, because Jor-El zaps John. Rogol Zar's like coming through the ship, and he zaps John to send them back home with this. We'll just call it the magic wand for now until we have any more explanation.
Yeah, it seemed to me like a New God thing. It looks like kind of like the thing Highfather has, his staff. But it reminded me a lot of that.
The idea of Rogol Zar coming after John and like just with the intent of just murdering him there and then is actually quite scary, and just adds to.
And so you have that half page or that full page, the double page spread of him coming with the 2 Kryptonians there. It looks like Jack Sur coming at Jor-El, and then when John lands in Wisconsin, and then goes to find his parents. It flashes back to Rogol Zar almost like he's a horror movie villain.
Yep.
Right? Where it's the same image and it's just haunting John.
Yeah. And then upon hearing this, Clark's like, I know you've been through a lot, but if you're ready to suit up, and he's like, yeah, I'm ready to suit up. He's like, we need to go and get your grandfather, because he's out there on his own fighting all these things. So Superman and John are flying off together to help. So the big final page is this 2-page spread of like just all the armies fighting around the Jor-El ship. So it's just chaos. And
well, and given we'll get to what we got to in Supergirl, this page makes much more sense after you read Supergirl.
It does,
which I like, because you have like it looks like crystal ships and Thanagarian ships and a space whale looking thing that almost looks like Ion.
Star Trek 4: The Quest for Peace, feeling its impact even in Superman. No, I like this issue a lot. Joe, the fact is I remember I'm still kind of apprehensive about John being aged up. Like, why have we done that? But we've went through the whole arc there, the entire story of what's happened to him, and nothing has upset me. Nothing has pissed me off and said this feels like a cheap thing to do, or this feels like that. I like the horror of his parents missing all these years of his life, the horror of what he actually went through, and the fear of Rogol Zar coming for him. All of this is played very well. If anything, the only disappointing element is that I could have done with a few more years of young John. That is the only problem here with this.
Yeah. Well, and I also love how it facilitates the Bendis talking about why space travel sucks. Right? Because of all the different variables you have to take into account. And, and it doesn't make quite much sense, but you have to use this complex math. So I felt like as a writer, he was putting that out there, which I like. And I also love John talking about how when Ultraman threw him in the volcano prison, it didn't hurt him as much as his mom trying to kill him. Yeah. As Superwoman. And like that hit real hard.
Yeah, he didn't want to fight back. He's like, I'm not going to fight my mom.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
No matter how drunk and rageful she was, so... And he's like, because it looked like you, but I had to keep telling myself it wasn't you.
And it's instant, like, it's not even like she wanted to, like, capture him like Ultraman did. She was just instantly going for the kill. That's all she wants to do is kill him.
Yep. And so... and I love that it's John dealing with these bad versions of his parents, you know, and what does that mean for him? You know, it kind of gives him perspective on his own mom and dad. So, but yeah, I'm curious what Bendis is planning, because you know he has Connor over there in Young Justice, and now you have roughly the same age John.
He did confirm, or someone confirmed at WonderCon, that Connor and John will meet. And
yeah.
And that the Superboy mantle will be sorted out. Like, maybe one of them's going to end up with a new name, you know, a new hero name.
And that's fine. I just, you know, if the Bat family can have all these other ones, it's not say the Superman family can't.
Yeah.
But I want to know how their roles are different, because we all know how the Bat family roles are different, and how, you know, how Dick is different than Tim, who's different than Jason, who's different from Damian.
I feel like,
you know,
if I was to make a guess, I'd say Connor takes a new mantle of some sort, because he doesn't need the Superboy name.
He kind of is the Tim Drake, right? Where Bendis also kind of confirmed that in Young Justice, I think it was in the solicits, Tim Drake's going to get a new moniker, finally. You know, it's not going to be Red Robin. So it almost makes you wonder if these lost heroes outside of, I mean, Wonder Girl, I guess, can keep hers, but you know, Bart's Impulse. So it almost makes me wonder what these guys are going to do. But and I like that kind of intrigue. Like, even whoever ends up with the Superboy name, I'm not going to be upset, because both of them, I feel John's earned it now almost as much as Connor has.
It's the sort of thing where like Garth like gave up Aqualad, but he's just Garth now. So Connor could just be Connor. Like, it might not be like a hero name for him.
That's true.
Essentially,
that's true. So, but yeah, no, I like this issue a lot. I like, especially with the time traveling Jor-El, and just looking when he shows up and he's older and he just looks tired. Like, the art conveyed that so well.
He's kind of frantic as well. He's like, you know, where have you been? I've been looking for you, and he's very on edge, which is different to what he was before. So I like that. What are you giving the book, Matt?
Oh, this is an 8.5. Really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, I think I'll go with a straight 8. I'll give it a straight 8 out of 10. But that's Superman, which will take us on to Wonder Woman issue 68 by G. Willow Wilson on the writing, with Cary Nord in the first half of the book on the art, and then the second half of the book is Ronan Cliquet. So
we all know I've been very...
dare you, Matt?
Stop. I've been critical of Cary Nord. That said, I'd rather have an entire issue of Cary Nord that's consistent than just half an issue, because Cary Nord has a style that's only Cary Nord, and it doesn't mesh, I feel, with anybody else. So when you got to that page,
you can tell the exact page it is immediately.
Yeah, it's like page 12, right? Like 12, 13.
Page 11, because the credits literally say 1 to 10 is Nord, and then 11 to 20 is thingy.
As I was flipping through, I just realized it was about halfway.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. But I'd rather have it consistently. I think I'm warming up a little more to Nord's art. This issue didn't have a lot of the stuff that annoyed me in others.
Coming around.
That said, that said, I can't wait for Zermanico to get back.
Oh, Zermanico's fantastic, yeah. Joe, what's funny about this is that there's good art in both halves of this book. If anything, like, I almost think the art in the second half might have stronger moments, not because the art itself is better, just because the moments in the story lend themselves to, you know, just better images.
Yeah.
I might have agreed if we didn't have that double page from Nord.
The double page is good, but my favorite page of the book is probably Wonder Woman flying through the giant, like and she's going right through the middle of it. I love that page.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I love that page, because basically the issue here is that Gigant is like, you know, Wonder Woman, why don't you could be a god, why do you hold back so much, why do you spend so much time holding back with these mortals?
And she's kind of laughing at it, like, you could rule this place. Like, if I were you, that would be it. I'd be unstoppable.
Yeah, and she's like, no, you don't understand me if that's what you think. If you think I think that way, that but because we realize these aren't actually, like, you know, they're not real giants. They're just material. They're just
they're rocks brought to life. So they're elemental beings.
Yeah, but they're not actually
Diana
sentient life.
And once Diana figures that out, she's like, oh, gloves off. We're gonna rock and roll.
Out comes the god power.
Yeah, and she just flies through it. She goes supernova and just, you know, starts wrecking them. And Gigante's like, you didn't need me. Why am I here? And she's like, well, no, when I thought I didn't want to kill them because they were going to be beings, then I didn't need you here. But now,
guess not anymore.
Yeah. And
did anyone else think it was weird that she didn't mention that she used to be a god? You know, the whole bit is like, you could be a god, and she's like, eh.
But see, I feel like they're getting away from the Azzarello run, as great as it was.
Yeah, that's
it's
basically
so
not continuity
standalone
at this point. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about that.
Because the gods as they were, because she had this.
That entire Azzarello one did feel weird just to exist though when it was on.
Yeah,
just
I love it. It's modern day mythology.
It's not a critique about the quality. It's just like, even when it started, it was like, this is like almost ignoring just Wonder Woman history. And I guess that was fine at the time because it was New 52.
Yeah,
everything was
New 52.
different.
Doing its own thing.
But yeah, it's hard to reconcile that. Like, if we're gonna keep that, but her relationship with Ares as a mentor, right? And then he passes on the God of War mantle to her versus Ares here, who's very much an enemy of hers. Yeah, it's hard to make those connect.
Do you know what? Like, I've loved this arc. I think like between this issue and last, because last issue had Giganta like actually tackling the giants, and it was like these gorgeous pages. Then this issue has Wonder Woman flying through them. There's that full page spread of like the biggest giant like slamming his foot next to them. It's just gorgeous stuff. It's just big, larger than life moments. And I think it's been a really solid story. And of course, Maggie found the sword, and she comes out at the end and basically gets the giants to step down, because whoever holds the sword,
right? Well, and we find out that that's a Themyscirian sword.
Yeah. And
Diana's like, belonged to.
On you go.
Oh yeah, I'm looking for who it belonged to.
Antiope.
There you go.
Yeah, Antiope.
But basically, this is Diana's first shred of proof that, maybe my civilization aren't dead. That maybe they are okay somewhere.
I think Antiope's the one who taught her how to fight, if I recall.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So quite an important person for Diana.
Yeah. So what this is starting to remind me of? I don't know if you ever read it, Connor. But the JMS Thor run, right? It was post Ragnarok.
I literally started reading it last night.
Okay.
I'm like 4 issues in.
So as it goes, Thor has come back. Ragnarok's happened. Everything is reset, and now he has to go and find the other Guardians.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like that's what's going on here, is that she's going through and finding the aspects of Themyscira or the Greek mythos that have relocated. So
yeah, I mean, we know
that type of story.
Themyscira still exists in some way, because in this list she is going back there in like 75.
Yeah.
But it's changed.
Yeah, I wonder if what's changed about it though is why she can go back though. Like that's the difference maker.
It probably could be.
Yeah, because up until now she's not been able to.
Yeah, and as a big fan of that Rucka run, I feel like if it's not handled correctly, can completely undermine. But if it's done with this.
What you're saying is, if it just lets her go back, you're going to be annoyed. But if it actually finds a way to get around that, you'll be okay with it.
Because G. Willow Wilson started this by picking up threads that Rucka left about, Ares being in prison there, right? And then I also took from the Orlando run with Darkseid's daughter. I always forget her name.
Grail.
Grail was there, and the whole reason this is all happening is because of those two,
Yeah.
So
I mean, if it's reset the mythological world, then maybe it has reset that rule that she can't go back, and that's maybe just why. So Maggie's got the sword. They go on basically a sword quest, and they go with Cadmus the Pegasus because he can fly them, or he can fly her there. Obviously, Wonder Woman can fly on her own, but the other two stay behind. So.
Yeah. Aphrodite's going with them as well.
Aphrodite's going as well. So
this
sets them off on the next arc. And given that we got the confirmation when it solicits that Wilson's still in the book after 73 or whatever it is, the one that she's missing.
Yeah,
we're good. I'm excited because I'm enjoying this one. It's probably
I'm pumped for a good long meaty run here.
Yeah, because this is starting to feel kind of like Williamson's Flash, not in quality or anything, but just in the sense where it's starting to feel like this is like a long game. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And it's made me like Giganta. Wonder Woman's rogues have always been a blind spot to me because I never really read Wonder Woman. But over the course of Rebirth, I love Veronica Cale. I love Cheetah, right? And now Giganta's up there. Yeah. So
I'd throw in Dr. Psycho as well as a fun one.
Yeah, he creeps me out though.
Silver Swan can be cool. So
Silver Swan. Yeah,
so a handful of villains now.
Yeah. Well, and I also like that most of her villains are highly educated women and stuff too, like Kale, Byrne, Giganta now, because they even talk about that here. She used to do great things, but now she's a villain. So, You know,
Giganta's not just, Giganta Smash. He's not just like some sort of Hulk character.
Yeah, right. So I look forward to seeing more Giganta. Like if they did like a Secret Six and Giganta was there, that'd be super cool.
Yeah. No, that's a lot. I guess the only real complaint is the art changing halfway through is a bit annoying.
It's frustrating because obviously neither of them are bad.
No,
but it is a jarring shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. That said, though, really like the book. Really like this arc. I probably like this more than the first arc, and I like that first arc a lot. So
yeah, me too.
So good things happening. Matt, what are you giving Wonder Woman?
Because of the art, it would have been half point higher, but I got to give it an 8 because of that art break. Kind of,
That's fair.
Throws a wrench into it.
Connor?
Same logic, but I'm going with an 8.5. Would have been a 9 if it had been probably Nord the whole time.
Yeah, same logic for me, but I'm coming on Connor's side here. I'm going with 8.5.
There you go.
So, no. Wonder Woman's been great. Like, it's becoming one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most on its weeks.
Me too.
Yeah.
The covers are great. They're getting the Dotsons to do them. And, like, this one in particular was like one of those old-style ones where there's text on the cover.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
They're talking.
Yeah. Would have been nicer if they'd given us the variant covers on the inside as well, though.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still bitter.
I know. It sucks.
Well, that'll take us on then to The Flash, issue 68. This is Joshua Williamson writing, of course, with Scott Kolins on the art. This is the next part of this greatest trick ever arc, whatever it's called.
Greatest trick of all.
There you go. It was something like that. I ballparked it. It was fine. So, yeah, Barry gets taken to Iron Heights where James Jesse has... It's basically his base of operations. He's got his like happy machine that he's making people walk through. It's not the only way he's doing it, but it's the way he's like targeting specific people.
And then Barry does remember him now.
He does, yes.
So it just felt weird, given where we left off last issue. He's like, oh yeah, this guy, I remember him now.
Yeah.
Well, and I like that. I like that it's taken James Jesse's taken. Here's my issue. I love Josh Williamson. He's one of my favorite writers.
Oh, we know.
Right. Trickster's coming off as Joker Jr. here, and it kind of irritated me a little bit. Like,
that's to be
get your own aesthetic, bro.
Do you know what?
Like the
funny?
Funhouse Carnival thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the carnival thing. I like that Barry's just faking that he's happy. He's just pretending to be all smiling and happy. And that's cool. And he speeds around. He tries to get Commander Cold, but the big twist of the issue is that Commander Cold's already been like taken over with the happiness. So Commander Cold betrays him. And we end the issue with, he's tied up, and I immediately thought, well, Barry can phase through things, so this isn't going to be a problem. And he immediately goes, hey, this isn't going to hold me, and he phases through it. And then the final page, the reveal is that Trickster, to neutralize him, has cut off his legs.
Is it bad that I laughed when I got to this page?
Oh, I laughed. I thought this was hilarious. And
I did too, and I don't know if it's supposed to be funny in the way I found it.
But I think it is because it's the Trickster.
Yeah, I think it's intentionally meant to be kind of darkly funny, right? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to get his legs back because we're not going to have legless Flash.
Well, they were never.
Forever. Yeah.
Speed Force, bro.
No. They're never gone. He's using the Sage Force. This is all in Barry's mind.
Sure, I can see that.
He's tricked Barry into thinking he has no legs.
But here's the thing. I love this cliffhanger because it's so like out of nowhere. I never saw this coming.
Yeah.
Because the page before, I was literally going, he can just phase out, and then you see that final panel of him like he's as if he's fallen over. Yeah. And like, what's wrong? What's happened? And you turn the page, and Trickster's just laughing with a chainsaw, and Barry's got stumps where his legs are supposed to be.
I want him to try super speed on the stumps. Is that so wrong? Also, Trickster, he can make whirlwinds, all right, with his hands.
That's true.
He ain't gonna stop my boy the Flash.
That's true. He's just in shock. Barry's in shock. Once he gets over the shock, he'll start doing little floating things with his whirlwinds and all sorts.
Bold choice on Williamson's part to make this the cliffhanger.
I
appreciate it.
I love how insane this ending is. I appreciate that.
I laughed. I got there, and I wasn't just reading the ha-ha-has. I'm sitting there at work, chuckling to myself.
Do you know what this was? This to me, this was Evil Dead 2. That's what this moment felt like. It felt like an Evil Dead joke.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I was getting from it. I don't know. The issue, I didn't like the issue as a whole as much as last issue, I don't think, but it was still a solid segment of the story.
It was fine. I kind of wish it wasn't playing into the forces as much. I thought I thought this was meant to be a bit of a distraction, a break from that.
Yeah, but see, I like that James Jesse's figured out how to weaponize them.
Well, see, I don't need everything to be, oh, we've got the forces. It was okay for the Trickster to just do a thing.
Oh, sure, but I don't mind that he's just using it as a tool, because it still feels different from the first plots. It's just that's what he's using to do his trick.
I get that. I'm just a bit burnt out on them, I think. So when it started talking about the forces again, I went, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, where's Detective Burns? Because the last time we saw her, she was with Captain Cold, or Commander Cold.
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah, and Kristen's shacking up with James Jesse. Obviously, she didn't seem. I don't think she knew who he was before this.
Which I kind of like too, because he got in there, and that's the greatest trick. And then there's the old saying that the greatest trick the devil made, or the greatest trick the devil of old, was convincing people he didn't exist. Like, despite how you feel about religion and whatnot, that's a great quote because it fits like here, right? Like, no one's assuming trickster.
It's a great quote because it's applicable to this comic book.
Yes. Yeah. You know that fantasy stuff, right? Like,
as we learned in Interstellar.
Yes, as we learned in the movie Interstellar taught us. Which, by the way, I've gotten way more mileage out of that this week because of the black hole picture.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's like I was waiting.
I get that. And by the way, we're getting a new Nolan movie in 2020 summer. The same year as the new Dune movie. We're going to get some pretty smart blockbusters in 2020. I'm looking forward to this.
You know, I wasn't gonna see Dune, and then they cast Batista, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Villeneuve really must like him because he was also in Blade Runner.
Yeah, you like one of them apparently. I'm down. And they said that Nolan's new movie is going to be hints of Inception, but working with like the time stream, and I'm like, okay.
Definitely things we learned in Interstellar coming into play in this movie.
Hopefully it's better than Dunkirk. Hopefully there's some,
I have faith.
Pretty low bar.
I have faith. Hey, every director's got one thing you just don't like from them. I mean, Dunkirk's that for me. So
that's true.
That's fine.
But anyways, with The Flash, it was, as I was reading it, they go through the machine, I was like, there's no way it got Barry. He can phase, and then you see him, he phase through it, and then he, puts his acting chops. I like the fact, though, that if you have a super strong emotion like the Warden, it still pops through occasionally.
Yeah, he kind of breaks out of it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, because he is the angriest man alive.
Yeah, well. But yeah.
Yeah.
He'd make a great Red Lantern.
He would.
He would. I feel like him and the Wall should get married. I feel like they're a couple made in heaven. Well, hell.
Yeah.
They're both so angry and deceitful. So, are we giving The Flash, Connor?
Give it a 6.
Matt?
7.5.
I'll give it a 7. Straight 7. So, there you go. That'll take us on to Supergirl, issue 29. Marc and Andreyko writing with Eduardo Pansica on the art. So this issue starts with Supergirl and what was it, Zinder? Is that his name?
Zinder.
Yeah, I remembered it. I don't actually failed to remember it between issues. I always forget until I read it again.
Yeah.
So they're kind of like having some downtime. Crypto's enjoying the lake.
Yep. Yes, he is.
I'm kind of liking how Supergirl's got like a hoodie version of her top that's kind of casual.
Yep. And so I kind of forgot that that's new, like Kryptonian tech of hers, like she got from Superman for her space trip. So I was like, wait, because later on when she goes full Supergirl, her suit comes back, the Supergirl one. I was like, oh, and then I remembered.
There's a transition.
Yeah, I like that it could change.
Yeah, there is like a transition like panel where it's changing. Yeah.
Well, no, because up to that point, I was like, where did she get this black shirt? Like this looks like one of Connor's shirts, like And then after it changed. No. Well, I mean, Connor could wear a black Superboy shirt. Like, in fact, if you don't have one, Connor, I'm gonna be disappointed.
I don't, but only because I've never come across one that has the red in a shade that I like. It's always some shitty shade or like a really shitty printing of it, and I've always gone, I'll leave it.
But yeah.
So Zinder.
So this issue taught me that Candello, Zinder's adopted mom,
evil mother,
might be one of the most evil people in the galaxy.
Well, yeah. So we get like some of his backstory where he says how he became adopted because his parents were killed when his ship was being attacked. And he wants
refugees. I knew.
Yeah, and he wants to tell Supergirl about who he is and about who his mother is. We find out that he's only 19, and she's like, "You're 19?" Yeah. He's like, "Oh, the beard age."
Which I'm so glad Cary said that, because I did the same thing. I was like, "Wait, what?" And then she addressed it, which I liked.
Yeah, and they've got these crystals. They've got the circle, the symbol of the secret society on them.
The circle.
From the dead Guardian, and then they activate, and he's like, "Oh, congratulations, Kryptonian! You found the mission I sent you on. So here's me explaining what the circle is, and explains who the members are. Meanwhile, Gandelo's getting some Rogozar followers after her. Big. I'd say the bottom half was kind of like Swamp Thingy Cthulhu-esque, but at the top he's like just big Hulk-looking dude with a metal hand.
Yeah.
It's an interesting design.
Yeah. A lot of these aliens are interesting looking. Like they're definitely monsters.
But yeah, so we find out about this circle, and you've got a Guardian, you've got a Thanagari, you've got someone from Ran, you've got someone from Tamaran.
You have Adam Strange's father-in-law, Sardath.
Yeah.
From Ran. You have the Thanagarian defense leader. You got Appa Aliapsa. You got Empress Gandelo, and then I'm missing one. Who am I missing? Thanagarian. I have to look it up because there's 5.
But you have Rogozar, who wanted to be in the team, and he wanted revenge on Krypton because Krypton apparently killed his world, so he claims. And even though the Circle was against it, Gandela secretly wanted to destroy worlds and was all for purging worlds that she deemed to be using resources that were a waste. So it seems like she was in cahoots with Rogozar. And that's kind of, if he did indeed destroy Krypton, which I still think they're going to swerve us later, and we'll find out that it wasn't really him, but at least he definitely wanted to. So after this happens though, Zinder actually just opens out with it and tells Kara who his mother is. He's like, "Oh wait, this is my mother," because he didn't know all this. Like, he knew she was bad, but he didn't know that she was specifically doing this. So as soon as he learns this, he gets angry.
Yeah, basically her mission is why he's orphaned.
Yeah,
and was raised by her.
Yeah, he immediately gets angry and just opens. But so I kind of like that they almost don't have to deal with Supergirl being like, "Oh, you were lying to me about who your mother was." Like, she immediately just sympathizes with him, and we just we've dealt with it. Yeah. And it's good. But it's right at this moment where they get attacked. Rogozar's followers show up. Supergirl activates the super suit, and we have a bit of an action scene.
And the axe.
And the axe. The art's glorious. It really is. But yeah, she's wielding the axe, and chaos is happening. Eventually, what's her face shows up. Gandelo, thank you. I keep forgetting her name.
Yeah. So the 5th person was the king of Tamaran.
There you go.
Starfire's father. He was the 5th one involved in there. But yeah, so she activates the axe to fight these dudes because her superpowers aren't going to work by themselves, and they all just stop because they see Rogozar's axe, which I feel like this is his power.
Yeah, they all pledge their allegiance. They all start referring to her as the ruler, as their ruler, because she holds the axe, because she can wield the axe. So that's it. But then Gandela kills them all. She uses her ice powers to spike them all. So we end with that, and she's like, "Oh no, she kind of implicates her son again, but it doesn't really feel like we're going to be doing that plot so much as she's just like, now you're going to die, Supergirl." So yeah, it does enhance Superman, because the idea of all those different races in that space battle war, it's like, okay, we see how they're all involved now in some capacity, and I have to wonder that the axe being activated, because it was almost like as soon as the axe was activated, like so many people seemed to know that it was being used. It was like, okay, the axe has been triggered. We have
Well, and we also saw Rogozar watching from the Phantom Zone somehow.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if something happens here, that's what causes him to get out, because now you have to think about time in the Bendis story and how he attacked John. When does it happen? It's got to happen in the future, you would think, unless it happened in the past and timey-wimey. You know what I mean?
Unless, Jor-El's gotten, close enough to Earth when he gets attacked by Rogozar that it is just kind of in real time, essentially, with Earth by that point.
Right.
But it's hard to say.
Yeah. But, so they're seeding it throughout, so it's weaving a tapestry here with Rogozar, and I agree with you. I don't think he is single-handedly responsible for Krypton's destruction, although I think the way it's going to play out is he sped it up.
Maybe
through
I
help
could see that.
of Zor-El, because it was Zor-El's machine that was meant to terraform. So
yeah, which was meant to be used for good things, obviously, but has been corrupted and manipulated into destruction. Supergirl's been great. This was another great issue, I thought. It enhances what's going on in Superman. The characterization of her doubts about herself, all that stuff still playing very well. I like the art a lot in this issue again. I think Pansica's done a great job. Colouring especially, I think one of the greatest assets to this book since it came back has been the strong colouring. It's been very nice, bold, and the blues and the reds all pop. And that's been really good. So, no, Supergirl was great again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 9. That once we got the connections to Superman, it kicked it into overdrive.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a straight 8 on this one. I liked it a lot. Like, it was great. I think the only downside I have for it is that it does, from a structural point of view, suffer a little bit from getting to the middle and then it being like a lot of exposition, because they get the dead Guardians recording, and it's like okay. So from a pacing point of view, it feels a bit weirder than some of the other issues, but which I think have been better. But that's why it's only getting 8 as opposed to 8.5 or 9. So that's Supergirl, which will take us on to the Batman Who Laughs issue 4. Scott Snyder writing with Jock on the art. You two are reading this, so by all means, take it away.
Well, if I wasn't already halfway through this issue would have made me rage quit.
It's
let's just say
it's got some things in it I really like.
Yeah, Jock's art, fantastic. Like, always looks great, right? That goes without saying. The story, though, I'm not down with this at all.
Yeah, there's some stuff I really like the first page. Yeah, it talks about how Bruce, whenever he's not sure about something, he looks at things how his kids would look at it, right? It's like, right, how would Dick see this? How would Tim see this? And try.
He doesn't care about Jason, though.
He doesn't.
He just goes straight to Damian, who he also doesn't take very seriously.
Yeah. But it's like, right, how would they take in this situation, and tries to use that to find a happier angle, usually, which is why he uses Dick and Tim, right, because those are the optimists. And I really like that idea, and that theme throughout this of trying to be happy, even though he's not.
Yeah.
What interests me here is that Connor also sounds like he doesn't love all the plot developments in this issue.
No, because then you get to the next thing where Jokerfied Bruce is creating that stupid visor, and you find out that visor, it can see aspects of the dark multiverse, or as Jokerized Batman, he can see aspects of the multiverse, and this is how Batman Who Laughs has been able to plot all the things, because he can see all the horrible intentions that people can make at the same time.
Yeah, and that visor
and basically coax them out.
It filters so that he sees a specific thing. So whatever he's looking for can be seen.
Right.
Because obviously there's a lot of dark multiverses out there stuff.
Yeah. And so Bruce and Alfred get into it. And sassy Alfred makes an appearance.
Alfred's having none of it. He's like, "You're not wearing this. You're doing it as Bruce. Nope. Come on, don't be a little bitch." Yep. And he smacks him with it, which is pretty satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. And then they fight, and Alfred sticks up for himself. Like, I didn't realize that Alfred was like a flippin' martial arts expert. Like,
yeah. I think it helps that Bruce is definitely not at his best right now.
No, but still, he's an older dude.
Yeah, he's holding his own until Bruce is choking him, and then it's got him good.
Right, and then that snaps him out of it. But
there's a really interesting lettering effect going on here that I should mention. Is that obviously the normal text is when he's as Bruce, so when he's in his right mind coming through. Every so often, some of the Jokerized version of him slips out, and it goes into this red text. So you'll get the odd word here or there. And then as he's choking Alfred, it's all red until right at the end where he catches himself and he finally, forces himself back through, and again it reverts to normal. It's a really good effect.
Yeah. But so what else happens in this?
We have an interlude where we have the actual Batman Who Laughs is still got Gordon, and he is having his fun with him, and he's talking about how on his Earth, Gordon was his biggest villain essentially. Once all the villains were killed, he snapped. He became this version, but Gordon never broke, and he became the biggest obstacle that was left for him on that Earth. And that's just kind of why he's got him down here. Is like, he's not willing to take that risk again, essentially.
Right, but we all know that Batman Who Laughs is just using that as the carrot, right, to keep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Grim Knight's just standing there waiting for an excuse to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get Joker showing up, and it looks like he wants to help Batman because he hates the idea of the Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, this is basically coming down to obviously we've seen it before with Snyder's stuff, the concept of Joker kind of being in love with Batman in some weird way, and Batman's like, oh, you want to win yourself, do you want to beat me yourself, and Joker's like, no, I don't even want that. I just don't want this to end. I want this fight to go back and forth between us forever. But if you succumb to this, we can't have that. But if you do, I'll blow your effing head off.
Yeah. He says cross his heart, so he does.
Yeah, I think it's a great moment. I think it's just weirdly paced in the book as to where it kind of just slots in.
I still have the idea that he's wearing that stupid visor.
I know.
And it makes it hard for me to take it serious. But then they go to Blackgate, and because this is where they have Gordon, and Bruce is trying to get Gordon. And then it turns out that it shifts. So they shift into a different. It looks like a different multiverse.
Yeah.
And it's Bruce Wayne who runs Blackgate.
And it's all been
he's older.
It's like 4 or 6 times as big, whatever it was.
Yeah. 6, twice the size, actually. And then he saves Gordon, but then you come to find out that no, this whole thing was a trap set by the Batman Who Laughs.
Who was posing as a security officer at Blackgate.
Right. Who then murders the Blackgate Bruce Wayne in front of our Bruce.
And sets the little Robins on Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're biting away. The art is appropriately horrific.
Yeah. And then it looks like James Gordon Jr. is needing to be the hero.
It is, yeah.
Although it seems like this is another part of the Batman Who Laughs plan. You know what I mean? By forcing Gordon to do it. And then he opens fire. He has the police open fire on Batman.
I think for me it's a frustrating issue in that I think I like everything in it. I just don't think it's paced very well. So I think I like it more than that for sure. Yeah,
it's very. I have 2 issues left. I'm gonna finish it. Just
might as well at this point.
Yeah, it's very because Batman, and I hated when anytime Snyder would slip into that.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts. And Batman Who Laughs is, I get it. That's the darkest personification of Batman, is the because Batman idea, the whole Bat God.
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy Morrison's run more than anyone else's, because he's not the Bat God. He goes out of his way not to do that stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
And so here, it seems like this is all futile because Batman Who Laughs, it's all part of his plan. And Batman can't seem to overcome it.
Yeah.
Because of this. And it's just, I feel like it's going to be a very Deus Ex Machina.
Probably.
That comes out and saves the day. And that, again, that's what killed Snyder's run to me, was the trauma machine.
That's fair. Right. It's just frustrating.
Along the same lines as happening here.
Like all the stuff at the start, with the way he sees the Robins, the stuff with Alfred, I really like. I really like the scene with Joker. I like Snyder's take on their relationship. I think that's been consistently strong for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the actual Batman Who Laughs side of it that's the weakest stuff in this issue for sure.
Like, I almost just wish it was our Batman as the Batman who laughs and his struggle there. And I'd rather have some inner monologue going on with him fighting it instead of getting this whole plan where he's always 4 steps ahead. And
yeah.
But yeah.
Oh,
so
great.
Pete, it's a good thing that you dropped it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Pete be angry. Pete be real angry.
Good.
Because it's everything you don't like about Snyder in one place.
Making smart life choices recently, haven't I?
Yeah, with the awesome Jock art. Because the art is still fine. Like, there's a super chilling page at the end where Batman Who Laughs takes off the helmet of the copy he's posing as, and you get to see his red eyes and his Jokerized face, and it's creepy.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. You rating that yet? Have you done that?
No, we should. I'll give it a 6.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Oh.
And that's mostly because of Jock.
Oh baby. Yeah. I made the right choice. That'll take us on though to the final issue of Titans. This is Titans 36. That writing with Bruno Redondo on the art. So this wraps up the whole thing in the made up world and Mother Blood and the most notable thing here really is that there's flashbacks throughout the issue to when Raven was recruited by Dick. So there's a lot of Nightwing in this issue. So
and it felt so good because he was written like Nightwing.
Yes.
And then he has this whole thing with Raven that they're both Titans and that they came up together, and he kind of puts it on her like she's the soul of the Titans, and that even though she feels broken, they need her. You know, she's a very important asset to the team. And especially now with the Justice League, like them finally getting a vote of confidence from the Justice League, like this is their time to shine. And there was a super nice moment between the two of them that you don't really get to see these two interact that much. It's like, yeah, like she came around back when, you know, he was first Nightwing during the Marv Wolfman stuff. But since then, it's, you know, they're real hit and miss. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed those scenes.
Yeah, no, it was a fine issue. It was kind of on par with what this arc's been. Like it didn't blow me away.
Yeah.
It was yeah, it wrapped things up well enough.
They did trap Mother Blood in the bleed.
They did,
which it took me this many issues to also realize that's why she was able to access it because it's the bleed and it's tied to blood.
Yes.
And then because they did that, and that the bleed is shielded from source energy, Beast Boy runs in after because Raven goes in and basically knocks Mother Blood into the bleed, and she was basically going to sacrifice herself and be trapped in there with her, but Beast Boy goes running after her in his full brute form, and because the bleed's shielded, he ends up being, you know, cured of that source energy. So now he's back to normal.
I think you flipped it around though. Is she goes in to save him because he's
oh, that's right.
He's fallen in the bleed and
he's gonna trap himself.
Yeah, and she dives in at the last second and says, you know, I'll try and get him out.
Not on my watch.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then he's cured. He's back to be normal Beast Boy, which is fine.
Yeah,
it's a shame that this last arc's had some fun moments, but it's mostly been kind of just throwaway for the most part.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could tell that Abnett knew it was ending, so he's gonna, you know, write it to its place.
Yeah, I wonder if he knew it was ending when he started writing this arc, though.
Yeah, I don't know, because it seemed like there was more going on in the fantasy world, you know. But it ends before we even see them come back because they get activated by Ben, and then it cuts back to Dick and Raven.
Yeah, and it ends with a flashback scene again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which was fine.
Bit wistful. Yeah, because I really like this version of the team. Like, the Rebirth, it was real up and down. But this, once they had kind of a point to exist and they were going to go after the source energy inconsistencies happening on Earth. Because this even ties back to the one that Dick lost from the annual. The one girl.
Yeah.
That was their first mission.
The special, I think it was.
So, yeah, the special. That's right. But yeah.
That was fine. It was fine. You know, 6 out of 10. That's nothing great, but nothing bad.
I give it a 7.
Yeah, there you go. So that was quick and sweet. It's a shame to see it go, but arguably it maybe had been losing some direction with the last arc. So maybe it is time to let it go. Although it is a shame now that there's no Donna or Kyle or some of these characters. You know, they're just kind of missing now.
I'm not gonna miss Kyle.
You shut your filthy goddamn mouth. But yeah,
I'm not getting involved in this.
No, you better not. So that was Titans 36, which will take you two on to Hawkman number 11. Robert Venditti writing with Bryan Hitch on the art.
Boy, Venditti's having fun with this one.
This is so good.
Yeah.
I have one art critique, and it's on like the second page or third page after the title page, basically. Kryptonian Carter looks a bit odd. He's in a bit of an unusual pose, and I'm pretty sure his head after the splash page.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure his head is actually decapitated with the way he's turning and twisting there.
Well, and Xanadu above too. It's not quite. Those are not quite regular proportions of her face.
Yeah, that one's not awful though. But basically, this issue, like 90% of it is just going through the fight and watching different Hawkmen fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, which I love because they're all in one place. I like that who is he? Silent Knight of Britain recognizes Xanadu as Nimue, and she goes, "I don't go by that anymore. You know, I'm this now," and that was really cool. And Qatar, all of Krypton, realizing the yellow sun makes him stronger.
Yeah.
So he just starts whomping on these Deathbringers. And Nighthawk from the Old West is taking shots at him from a rooftop.
Fine day for
it reminded me of the first Avengers film, as we get that wraparound of the One Earth that follows each of them.
Yeah, yeah. Know? Just they're all Hawkman.
Yeah, they're all Hawkman. And even when the dragon shows up, I was like, he actually brought the dragon.
I wasn't sure that would count. Because obviously you go from the Gunslinger Wild West one to the Dragon of Barbatos from metal in the Forge. And it's like, oh, okay, that's cool as shit. Then you got one from New Genesis. You got the
that was a new one.
Yeah.
The one from the Microverse, Avion.
Yeah. You got Thanagari.
Fufu. Yeah. Qatar Ol. His name's Airwing from New Genesis. You have the Gold Hawk of Andreyko, which that one's new to me.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one. It's kind of a. His wings are more of a semicircle, like it's almost a cape-esque thing, but it attaches to his wrists by the look of it.
Like a wingsuit type deal.
Yeah.
You know, the people wear. So, but the meat of the issue though, like as cool as the roll call is, and we get to see them all, is Adam and Qatar facing off, and him basically saying like, no, you've brought this upon yourself, Carter, you know, or Qatar as he keeps calling him, and he basically has him down for the count before Carter's like, you know, I'm not going to let you do this.
And he pulls the spear out of him, and then flipping turns it on Adam, and he yells, I am Hawkman, and stabs him right in the chest. And then, like Jason Voorhees, Adam gets right back up and is like, oh yeah, when you made that deal, we became immortal. Yeah. So every one of these Deathbringers. As well, he's like, oh shit, that does hurt when you impale someone with one of these things.
Yep. And he's like, your suffering's never going to end. And I'm just going to keep adding to your tally of being
it's like, you may have had 1,000 lives, but we're immortal, so you're just going to die.
Yeah. Well, I also like how it plays with he's been reborn over and over, but they've never died.
Yeah.
Right? And so it plays with the opposite ends of the spectrum here.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm wondering how, because we have that origin issue of why he is like this, and we have the mysterious redhead that looks like Kendra. So I'm wondering how Kendra's going to play in to this, you know, eventually. Because I feel like she has to, because the fact that character was in that, you know?
I'm wondering if to get rid of their immortality, he has to give up his resurrection.
Yeah. And so that's the last time, right? Like, you have to make it count.
That could be a really interesting angle to play with. Be unusual for a Hawkman story, right?
Yeah.
And the ending of the issue is Adam's like, right, everyone, return to the ships. Let's destroy this city and then just destroy the world.
Yep.
And they're charging up, and you just go through a roll call of all of them.
Yep.
Like Row above, God's help us, 7 hells. Yep. It's just shit like that.
All of them. They're all looking up.
Oh, Matt,
you're going. Yeah, they're all looking up and seeing the Deathbringer ships, which still look fantastic.
Yeah.
Just hovering above the city, getting ready to destroy.
Hovering in London.
Yeah.
So, we got all of them in one place.
Yeah, this was great.
Pretty
So
awesome.
next issue is presumably the ending of this arc.
Right.
I think that's the last Hitch issue, right?
I think so.
Which makes sense.
That would be 10? What issue
10?
is this? No, that'd be 12.
Yeah, that'd be 12.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
12 issues, and that'll be the full story, and then I think it will be onto something new after.
Yeah, and it seems like it's going more traditional Hawkman because you're having the Shadow Thief show up, All
right.
So that was in the solicits. So yeah, I'm excited for Carter to get back doing some archaeological stuff. But,
yeah, I'm sure. I know we got the issue from the Journal coming up, which will be a pulpy adventure, I think.
As much as I love Jeff Johns, he's my favorite writer, but this might be the strongest version of Hawkman I've ever read. Is from Venditti, just because of his point of view on it. His take on the resurrections and what that means with the grand scheme of things.
So I'm gonna compare it to a Marvel book that Pete's gonna get this here. Is that current Uncanny X-Men, and it started with every X-Men story is the same, and then went on to just be the same. This is you could say every Hawkman story is the same, right? It's trying to fix his origin, but this actually kind of broke the mold and did something new. So it's cool. I'm really into it. That said, other than those like one or two panels at the start, is pretty fantastic.
Yep. I was trying to sell this book to Tim and Mario, and they were having none of it. And I was like, fine, whatever. More for me.
Yeah. It's been good. I'm giving it a 8.5, I think.
Yeah, I'm giving it 8.5 as well. I like when me and Connor line up.
Well, that'll take us on then to the final book of the week, which is Wonder Twins issue 3. I feel like these are coming out really quick. I mean, they've been monthly, but it feels like I just read the last one. But yeah, so
good old Druncula.
Yeah, Druncula. The story of Druncula has come to its end, at least for now. And this is the story of Gleek, the monkey that.
Yeah.
Well, space monkey, I suppose I should be more accurate.
Sir Lancelot.
Yeah. We get flashbacks for Gleek, and then ultimately Gleek saves the day at the end because the Legion of Annoyance, or whatever they're called.
League of Annoyance, I think.
League of Annoyance. They get this, remember, basically this Nobel Prize winner, Lex, he tried to leave Lex Corp, and, Lex like, nah, you can pay off your $10 million debt.
Go work for the League of Annoyance.
Yeah. So he has to go work there, and because of that, these idiots get these bags that'll hold individuals.
It'll depower them.
Yeah.
So the way that I read that was because their powers work after they activate, right?
Yeah. So
all you have to do is separate the Wonder Twins.
Yeah.
And then it works. So I feel like they were just plastic bags.
Very possibly, yeah. I can see that.
Which would add to the League of Annoyance.
No, I'll disagree with that because it's when she's turned into the snake, right? And then they put the snake in the bag.
Right.
And then back to normal after that, right?
Right, but so she turns back, but she can't just turn. Like she's gonna return to her original form when the powers, right?
Sure, but the way I got it was because it was right after the snake went into the bag. I thought, okay, that's it. It actually depowered her there and then.
Maybe it just stops the like not that there has to be like a radio signal between the two characters, but like maybe it just, if it completely seals her, it like shuts off any connection to her brother.
Yeah.
And that's just that simple. Rather than the bag special or it has anything.
I mean, it's a power neutralizing bag is what they call it, and it's the Nobel Prize winner that's done it. Like,
but I also feel like
I do like Matt's idea here though. I like the idea that they bring him in, he's this intelligent guy, and his solution is like, just put him in a bag.
Yeah.
Yes, I designed it. It's special, and it's got
Yeah, because he's paying off his debt because Luther told him 1 to 2 year tops, right?
I get what you're doing, but
so he's just doing the least amount possible to repay his debt to Lex Luthor.
Can I just say how much I love this league, though? The malingerer, who's like the hypochondriac, who's constantly like, no, you said there'd be no kicking, and no, don't hit me, I'm weak. Or amphetamine, which I also think is a fantastic title.
Yeah.
Also, the Scrambler as well is excellent.
So this book gets deep on certain points because it opens with Jaina talking to Superman. And her basically being like, how do you deal with all of this? Like, there's so much bad stuff in the world.
Yeah, it's like we thought we were bringing Druncula to justice, but all we did is make him relapse and kill all those hockey fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not pulling its punches, but it's also an insanely fun, light-hearted book for a lot of it as well.
Yeah,
it's
and then you have a fantastic sequence of the monkey saving the day, pulling out all his circus tricks, running around on the bike. And,
he gets the bike, he gets up and he just enough to like let them out the bags, and it kind of saves the day.
He starts riding on his train, he's on the bike, he goes up the ramp over amphetamine, and
it's really simple because it's like the flashbacks, like how awful he was treated at the circus, and how they kept telling him he's a loser and he better not screw up, and this was him like, no, like these two, or at least one of them does, like cares about him and actually gives a shit about him. So he's putting in the effort. He cares. He wants to save the day.
Yeah, Zan treats him right, and that's the whole point. Is that when Jaina's talking to Superman, and he kind of doesn't really have an answer for her, but Zan's just like, yeah, kindness is how you change the world. It's like this thing that's just like, no shit, Sherlock, and he's figured it out because he just cares about his new pet monkey, Yes. And then it's that kindness that he pays to Gleek is what ends up saving them in the end.
And it's because they defeat them at the end of the book. I'm actually almost disappointed they're all getting arrested. I hope this is not the last of the team.
Well,
but you see Praying Mantis getting handcuffed and whatnot. Not to be confused with the She Praying Mantis from the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah. I also love the Scrambler's idea. He's like, look, they're doing a fundraiser for the president, and if you just get me in there, right, $5,000 ticket, I can switch bodies with the president, and we win. And then they're like,
that's a bit
we
pricey.
don't have $5,000, and just the panel of him slamming his head onto the table in frustration, like you just feel it.
Like, I quit. I can't take this anymore.
Yeah. So he's not arrested. The Scrambler's still out there. That's important.
Yep. And then the overall theme of this issue was how like good and evil really isn't this binary, because what's good to somebody, so like they used Philo Math, the dad of Jaina's new friend she met at school. The reason he's quote doing evil is because of his daughter, because Lex was going to take the college fund away, and so just the whole overarching theme of what it means to do good and to do evil, and it's not always what you think it is. But yeah. Oops.
Not spelling things. I probably liked last issue a bit more. I think last issue was like,
I agree,
was fantastic. This was just really good though. It was still really good.
Yeah.
And heartwarming, and you got the Engleeks, an accepted member of the family. So.
Yep.
The whole thing. That was delightful. What you giving it, Connor?
7.5. Real good.
What you giving it, Matt?
An 8.
I'll go with a 7.5 as well, I think. But no, really good. So there you go. That actually was the last book of the week, which brings us to the part of the show where we pick our favourites. We do panel/moment, we do best cover, best art, and top 5 books. Last week we didn't have even close to 5 books to pick from each, so
yeah, we had a top 3 last week, I think.
This is a novelty almost.
Yeah. I think I only had 2 actually last week.
So yeah, start off with panel/moment. Connor, what have you got?
I'm going from Hawkman. It's when Adam gets stabbed and he's like, "Ow, it does hurt," and that just made me laugh.
Matt, what you got?
Mine's from Wonder Woman, and it's with Giganta, and she's like the birds are circling her because she's so tall.
She's just flapping away. Not again.
Yes, not again. Like just someone that hates birds, like that would terrify me. I don't care how big I am. Like, but yeah, I like it, and it's a nice like the mountains and the coloring, like it all really comes together.
Yeah, I'm also going with Wonder Woman, although I'm going with Wonder Woman going supernova and going through the giant, like actually going through the middle of him, and it just completely makes a hole, like just splits him in half. It's beautiful. Best cover of the week. I'm going to jump in first just so I can say it first. The Adam Hughes Superman variant is my pick. So,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But it's for me, it's the Cary Andrews Wonder Woman. That was my phone wallpaper for about 2 months before I changed it recently. Because it's fantastic.
Well, then I'm also going to Wonder Woman, but it's the regular Dotsons that just cracks me up.
Yeah, it's good.
Running from the giant.
There you go.
Nobody's bigger than the Gigantus, she said.
So best art of the week, then, Connor.
Oh, that's tough. I think we're going to go with Detective Comics. I really like the art in that.
That's fair, Matt.
I'm going with Supergirl. I really like the art in that one.
Yeah, it's a tough week, actually. I mean, Wonder Woman might have got it if it hadn't split halfway.
Yep.
That's the thing. If it was either of them, the whole issue, maybe it could have been either of those, but the split hurt it too much.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Supergirl, although it is between Supergirl and Detective. So, we're kind of in agreement in terms of which ones are at the top of the pile. Cool. So, best top 5 books? Top 5 books of the week, Connor, what you got?
Number 1, Hawkman. Number 2, Wonder Woman. 3, Detective. 4, Wonder Twins. 5. This is really tough. Just about the Flash, I guess. It's edging between Flash and Batman Who Laughs.
Okay. Matt, what's your top 5?
So number 1, Supergirl. Number 2, Wonder Woman. Number 3, Superman. Number 4, Hawkman. And number 5 is Wonder Twins.
All right. My number 1 is Wonder Woman. Number 2 is Supergirl. My number 3 is Superman. My number 4 is Detective Comics. My number 5 is Wonder Twins. There you go. So there you go. That's a successful week.
So we all like Wonder Twins enough that it's in our top 5. That's
true.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I may have forgot to put a tweet this week asking for people to pick their favourites. So
of course he did.
So we'll skip that this week, but I will be asking next week. Get your favourites ready.
You couldn't have asked on the week where there's some variety in how many books there are, could you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but next week they'll get to say Naomi to annoy Connor.
I'll take that as long as they're not saying Batman.
You've heard them, people. You've heard them. Do what it takes to annoy him. So I'll tell you what's coming next week then. We'll be covering Batman 69, Justice League 22, Aquaman 47, Naomi issue 4. And I think that's it for the actual books we're covering.
Yeah.
Also out is Teen Titans 29, Damage 16, which is the final issue of that, and Nightwing 59. So it is a very quiet week, which means there will be questions again next week. We will put out some requests for questions on Twitter.
He's going to remember this time.
Just before the next show. Well, I need to, otherwise the show's going to have nothing to talk about. So, so that's going to happen.
Wait, did you say Aquaman?
I did.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was it. Real quick, what does final printing mean?
I assume it's after the 3rd, 4th, 5th printing, they're like, right, this is it. We're not doing any more.
Because Batman Who Laughs 1 through 3 are all say final. Doomsday Clock 1, 2, and 7 say final. Heroes in Crisis 2, 3, and 4 say final.
Yeah, I think they're just saying if you want it, now's your last chance.
Okay.
All right, there you go. That's what's coming next week. That's pretty much the show. What can we tell you about? Obviously, me and Cary do a TV version of this show called Television for the Multiverse, where we talk about DC TV shows. We also do Elsewhere in the Multiverse, which is us talking about other comics from other publishers, which now is goes over 2 parts in the week, because we now record it kind of split up to kind of make it easier to fit in. But because of that, we get the first half out a little bit earlier and a bit more timely towards the books coming out. So you can check out that. Is there anything else to tell you about that's super relevant right now?
Mm-hmm.
You got a Hellboy review coming up.
Yes, we do.
There is a Hellboy review. That'll be myself, Matt, and then Tim, who's a resident Hellboy fan. We'll be talking about the new Hellboy movie. That should be an interesting.
We know that there will be words had in that review.
Of course, me and Matt did Shazam. That's up obviously in the same audio feed as this, as well as on the YouTube channel. You can check out our Shazam review. And the Shazam Monthly that me and Connor are doing for Patreon is coming. The reason why it's been delayed is not because we've not read it. We've both read the book. We actually went to start recording it several days ago and then decided to wait until Connor had seen the movie because it was really strange that I had seen the movie and he hadn't.
Yeah.
So I kept wanting to immediately say, oh, it's interesting that they chose this for the movie and not this. And it was
got like 2 minutes in and I went, shit.
Yes, he used to see the movie before we could talk about it, so that's what it's waiting for. If we're going to do it post-movie, we might as well wait until we can actually both talk about the differences
in relation to the movie.
Yeah. So that's coming up next for patrons when Connor gets a chance to go see the movie. So that's coming up then, and then that's pretty much it in terms of what I need to tell you. Other than, of course, the usual stuff, such as if you want to support the channel and the show, you can head over to patreon.com/MailFlizzTV. You can support us for as little as $1 per month, and you get some bonuses, exclusives, all that kind of thing. Follow us on Twitter at DC Comics Podcast for show updates and bits of DC news that are retweeted and things like that sort of thing. But otherwise, that is us. So
no, you forgot the important thing.
Did I? What did I forget?
Yeah. There's a new Star Wars trailer out. Go and watch it, people.
Yes.
This will be Connor's last episode of Comics from the Multiverse. I hope you enjoyed these presents.
Then it's my last one too, because I'm gonna stand. I joined him in rebellion against this empire.
Do you know what? Pete told me yesterday that the Emperor is the worst character in the original trilogy. I think that's just because he's jealous that he isn't a good enough ruler.
Yeah,
he's just shit. That's all it is. Shit.
There's far worse characters, man.
In the original trilogy?
Yeah. Lobot literally does nothing but stand there with a visor on the back of his head.
Who?
Oh, you.
How am I know who that is?
Lobot's the guy with the cybernetics who hangs around with Lando.
Yep.
No. He's got a big. He's got. You don't like him. He's got a visor.
Yeah.
You like stupid visors.
I don't typically, but I don't remember this at all. I haven't seen these movies in a while, so
Oh man.
It's fine.
The Lando book by Charles Soule is fantastic.
I've got Endgame in just a week and a half. I've got
which Connor won't be seeing because I'm holding him to that.
Yeah.
No, it's too long for me.
But I'm looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Godzilla King of the Monsters. There's lots of good movies coming out this year that I'm looking forward to. It's just Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Well, I'm not going to fight you too much on the name.
Yes, it's a bad name. It sounds like a tie-in novel.
But great trailer.
Epic. It's got an epic sound to me. I don't know. I'm probably just a Skywalker fanboy though, so.
Yeah, you are. I don't care about the name that much as long as the film's good.
Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of the Skywalkers. Excellent.
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
I know, I was being facetious.
No, you weren't. You were just wrong.
I know, I said it like 2 minutes ago.
I don't recall.
Anyways.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, yeah, enjoy your Star Wars. I will not be seeing it. Thank you very much. I have no interest.
You will be watching the Star Wars TV shows, though.
The first episode. That is the only thing I'm committing to. The only thing. But while I'm on it, screw Game of Thrones as well. I mean, since I'm on the things that will piss off the audience, with me saying I hate them.
And that's back tomorrow, so I mean, people care about that.
Which I have to choose between playoff hockey and Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
So no, it's Game 3. There's no way.
I don't know what that means.
We're tied 1-1 against the stupid San Jose Sharks. And if you're San Jose Shark, I'm sorry, but
Sharks are cooler than Vikings. I'm sorry.
Also, it's the Knights. Believe me, if it was the Vegas Vikings, that'd be it.
We've been over this before. Me and Pete, for some reason, have it in our heads that it's Vikings.
Because it's me. You're dealing with me. I'm the only Knights fan you deal with.
Look, Vikings are just Scandinavian Knights.
Well, Sharks are definitely better than Knights, so,
not last night they weren't. We won 5-3 and didn't give up a goal in the last 2 periods, so... Wah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay, that has been the end.
You've seen Mighty Ducks, you know hockey terminology. Pete, have you seen Miracle?
I've not seen Miracle, no.
Oh man.
Yes, ducks fly together, all that nonsense.
Yes.
That is Because for the Multiverse episode. Believe this or not, this is episode 150. This was actually kind of a landmark number.
And we celebrated it by pissing off Pete with more Star Wars talk than we could think of.
Oh my god, I don't even know. Star Wars is just, it's past its time. You know what? It's time to let it die. It's time to let it die.
I'm gonna make a really, really off-color joke, but I'm not going to.
To quote Luke from Last Jedi, it's time for the Jedi to die. And
yeah, and that's what this Rise of Skywalker.
But I would
about.
extend it to the whole thing. The whole thing. It's time for it to go.
Oh, you're so bitter.
Lucas could have just kept the rights so no one else can make Star Wars movies.
Yeah, he would make them, and it'd be far worse.
He consulted on this one. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that's a great sign.
Abrams went to him and went, "Look, we're ending the whole saga here. What you got any thoughts?"
Bullshit.
No. The saga of the Skywalkers, the 9 series saga. There's still other movies gonna happen.
Oh, bullshit. There's going to be an episode 10. I guarantee you.
Maybe, but I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
No.
They'll take a break. They'll do spin-offs. They'll do other things for a while. But I will... This is the other thing. Everyone's like, oh, Star Wars and Game of Thrones are ending this year. No, they're not. Game of Thrones has got like 4 prequels in the works. Star Wars has got like another 2 trilogies. That's not the
same as the show, and it's not the same as Star Wars. Like, sure, spin-offs and whatever. That's not the same.
They're churning these things out like they're coming off a printing press, right? They're just churning them out.
I don't think so.
5 minutes ago, you were excited for Endgame.
Yep.
I'm excited for Endgame.
There is more Marvel films than there is Star Wars films, and they only started a decade ago.
Thankfully.
Hypocrisy.
Hey, it's not like I'm saying all Marvel movies are better than all Star Wars movies. I would never say that because Doctor Strange and the first Captain America exist.
No. That's right. We gotta end this before I get angry.
But Guardians of the Galaxy is better than Star Wars. I said it. Okay, that is Because for the Multiverse episode 150. We'll see you for 151 next week. It has been a pleasure. Thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep reading DC Comics and always remember to never get lost in the Speed Force.